Yo, what is up, yo? What is up? Welcome to KP Radio. What's up, Way Pass? I haven't talked to you in a minute. Um, but yeah, I'm back on Twitch with my little variety show, KP Radio. It's a show where we explore aspects of life, truth, and love through art and media. And we have tons in store for y'all: music, art, games, comics, writing, and a whole lot more. Today is Music Monday. So I'm going to be working on my independent music, my album, with a couple of friends of mine. And I'll introduce you guys in just a second. For those of you guys don't know, I'm Kit Presley. You can just call me Kit. I'm a singer, songwriter, writer, graphic designer, audio engineer, performance artist, yada, yada, yada. You get the deal. And now, a radio show host. I know, no bounds. I don't know when to stop, to be honest. I'm streaming every Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. You can check my Twitch schedule or join my Discord, join my broadcast channel on Instagram to stay updated. All right. So, who do I have with me today? I have LazyEyeMusic, my main producer, and chrme.shwty. Would you guys like to say anything? Oh, snap. Hold up. I just turned on your audio. Okay, go ahead. Say something.
Yo,
Show
what's good, guys?
Yo, what's good, everybody?
show some love. Yeah, y'all can follow them on Instagram. Um, let me link that in chat for y'all. Lazy, I've been working with him for a minute now. Honestly, a power duo. He's super talented, producer, and you have. I mean, talk a little bit about your background. Like, don't be shy. Don't be humble.
Yeah. So I've been producing now going about 5 years. Before that, I was a musician. I've been a musician most of my life, and yeah. So I met Kid a few years ago. We finally started collabing. I say seriously, maybe this past year, and just been making crazy music. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and you have like a metal background, and like I think when you first started, you also like got into like beat battling and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's like my roots. Like when I first got into it, the first year producing, I already got into beat battles. Did a lot of beat battling. Lost a lot, won a lot. Helped me develop my skills really quick. Just because you gotta really like show out in those things, and then the next step was just me to like hone in on my sound as I'm still working on that and work with artists, and then learning to cut back on the production because with the beat battling it's like show out and do the best you can, like go crazy, but working with like Kit, she's actually able to mold to like that kind of style. So I was able to incorporate that stuff in our sound and cut back enough where she could still shine through and not be like all over the production, like going crazy. But yeah.
Cool. And what about you, Vixa?
I've been making music since 2016, 2017. You know, when I first started making music, I started making music off of my phone, and then I discovered what FL Studio was, and then it's been magic ever since. So yeah. I first started off making trap beats, and then I slowly started to transition into R&B, and that's just kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, that's my background.
For sure, for sure. And I've known chrome for like I've known you for like what, 3 years?
Three-ish years, yeah.
Yeah, around that
Yeah,
time. And
around
it's
COVID.
crazy because we have never like done a single song with each other, which I think is insane because like you're honestly my twin. It's crazy.
Nah,
Like
facts. It's
I've
really
never
funny
met
to see.
somebody so similar to me. It's insane.
Nah, facts, dude. Like we like each other's music. All of that just never made a song, but you know that's usually how it is in these spaces. Let's be real.
Yeah, true, honestly. So
It's
what
all
we
about
got
timing.
today, we're working on this one track that will be on my official project on Spotify or whatever. Thank you for the pin, Soren. Um Guilty Party. And I wrote this song like, oh my gosh, 2 years ago. I've gotten a lot better at songwriting and being a vocalist and et cetera, et cetera. But the story behind this song is just so raw to me, and it speaks about something so authentic and something that really kind of altered my life in a way. And I kind of want to bring back that authenticity and rawness to my music. It's been 2 years since I've released official music under my artist name. And so I really want to like come back into the game with a new sound, fresher, more honest and everything. And I'm working here finally with Chrome. We're finally doing a song together and working with Lazy on this track. So let's see what we got so far. Cool, cool. I mean, how would you describe this song, like the direction?
You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance. Catching these hands, I wanna ruin your.
It's definitely got some like R&B influence, definitely that dark trap vibe, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's like dark trap, like futuristic type sound.
I mean, you know me, I love like sound design and just kind of like pushing the boundaries of sound. And Chrome, you're like crazy with the melodies. I love the melodies you come up with.
Thank you, thank you.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get some water real quick.
You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance. You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the. You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance. You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance. Catching these hands, I wanna ruin your life and tell all your friends while you pissing your pants. Don't you look like? You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance. Catching these hands, I wanna ruin your life and tell all your friends while you pissing your pants. Don't you look like?
All right.
Just a freak. Fuck your apology, that shit was weak. I'm the end woman, I am the heat. But in the hell, take.
So I also wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions for any of those curious about music production or producers and songwriters in general. Let's see. So, how did you guys both get into making music, and why do you think that you gravitated towards music? Let's start with Lazy.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, my bad. I was muted.
No, you're good.
Go ahead and ask the question again. My bad.
Yeah. So, how did you get into music, and why? Why do you think you gravitated towards making music?
Music was constantly playing around me growing up. I mean, as far as I can remember, I got a shout out to my mom and my brother, and she was playing music from all genres and eras, and they're just constantly playing in the house, in the car, everywhere I went. It was, I mean, from '60s to the early '90s, 2000s, so all genres. And I just loved it. I would literally just like take her CDs and stuff when she was working, and take my brother's CD player and just be listening to music all day, man. And and my brother was more into like at the time more modern stuff, so I listened to a lot of the metal and hip hop and all that stuff, hardcore stuff from him, and it just was around me. So like that already
Mm-hmm.
was like the starting point.
Were any of your was like your brother or your mom also musicians, or did they just like really appreciate have a deep appreciation for music?
Really deep appreciation. They were actually like artists, both of them, and I was an artist first, but like nobody was a musician in my family. Um, I was
Thank
basically
you
the
for
first
the
one. My
follow,
brother
Sim
tried,
Station.
like he went to like when he was in school, he did like band stuff, but he didn't wasn't really into it. And
Mm.
I was the only one that did it, and it's crazy how it got started because it was kind of basically like an accident how I started playing music, to be honest.
Mm. What do you mean by that? Like an accident?
So try to like sum it up. So basically, there was this guy that had an art studio, and he would invite artists of all people who wanted to come to use his art studio for free. It's this huge warehouse. So you had people to show up once every Saturday, I think maybe once or twice a month, and there were sculptors, wood carvers, painters, um, all types of artists. It was awesome. I was probably about like 8 years old, and we would go there. And so my mom met this guy. They would go, and my brother would go. I would, and they would just do that all day, you know. And just one day I show up and I hear somebody playing the guitar like in the back room, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'll go check it out. And it's this girl and her friend. They're probably like, I don't know, 14, 15. They're playing like some Nirvana stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just chilling there, and they're like, "Hey, do you play?" And I was like, "Nah, I just, you know, I just like music and stuff." So I sit and chill, and they're playing, and basically I was just in that room the rest of the day, and she was playing like a small little old acoustic, and she was like, "Yo, just take the guitar with you, like, you know, and bring it back next week when you come back to the art studio." And I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Yeah, all right, bet." Something happened. My mom had like a falling out with the guy, the owner of that building, or whoever that would invite people, and we
Right.
never went back. And I had this guitar, and I was like, "Yo, I got to get this guitar back." Like, like you know what I'm saying? She's like, "Well, I mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
not going back." You know what I'm saying? So I was stuck with that thing, and I didn't, you know, I was a kid, so I didn't couldn't call nobody or anything like that. So I was stuck with that thing, and then from there on, I was playing on that thing for hours every day, and I just started practicing, taught myself, and then the rest is history.
That is really cool. And then you started getting into like metal bands and playing in those and stuff.
When I was in high school, I remember because like so from the acoustic guitar, I was really into like Spanish playing like flamenco music and stuff. When I got it
Mm-hmm.
from there, I transitioned to finally got electric guitar, and started getting into like the rock and stuff like that, the metal stuff. Once I got to high school, when I found a lot of other musicians, started a band, and yeah, I started playing shows all in Dallas and just you know doing the band stuff for a few years. Yep.
That is sick. And yeah, we're all actually all three of us, me, you, Lazy, and Chrome, we're all in like DFW area, which is so cool. Cause I remember starting out in music like 7 years ago or so when I started taking it more seriously. Like I didn't know anybody, dude. Like nobody locally. I didn't even know anybody online. I mean, honestly, I'm just a hermit. But I really didn't know anybody. But I was also like so young. I was a kid. I was like 14, 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I didn't know really how to get out there and meet like my kind of people, you know? Um, so now, kind of years later, meeting you guys and working with you guys is just so cool to me. Like the journey that
Yep.
music has taken myself and like all of us, you know. But yeah, Chrome, talk a little bit about like how did you get into making music and why? Like, did you have any influences from your family or your friends or like the people around you? Like, really, what inspired you and what gravitated you towards music?
So me personally, like growing up, I was like lazy. I was literally the only person in my house who was like just addicted to music. Like I would like listen to whatever my mom had on the radio when she was driving me to school, and it would always be some sort of gospel or R&B. She played
Mm,
like a lot of Kirk Franklin in a car, like, and I would just listen to it all the time. Uh, when I was a kid, she would put on a bunch of music shows for me, like the Backyardigans, freaking Little Einsteins, and then I would just watch
fire.
those shows to death. Like anything that had music in it, I was so unbelievably locked in, right? And
Yeah.
then growing up, that transition into me always being in choir. I was in orchestra, and then like I got into band for a little bit, and then I kind of stopped doing music after that. Like my last 2 years of like high school, actually, my last 2 years of high school, I stopped doing music for school, and then I discovered FL Studio my last year, and that's when
Mm-hmm.
I really started to lock in. And the only reason I started wanting to produce was because I discovered this song by Braden Bailey called "The End," and it was like the craziest song I've ever heard in my life. So I started
Braden
doing
Bailey.
research on how he made this song and whatnot. I was like, "This is crazy," and then I figured it out, and I saw what he was using. I was like, "Okay, cool. Let me like try to get this." So I saved up some money. I bought FL Studio. And funny enough, like the first 2 months I was on FL, I almost quit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I
That's
almost didn't
so real.
because everything I was making was hot garbage, bro. Like I had the cheapest version of FL. I couldn't even drag in WAV files into like the freaking playlist, dude. It was all bad.
Dang.
And so from there, I learned how to finesse my way into a better copy of FL, I'll say. And then I learned how to use a DAW, finally bought it, and then I just started improving on my sound and craft there, taking many influences from Devin Morrison, Party Next, just different artists like those. I was hearing their sound and then implementing it into
Mm-hmm.
my own sound and then making it my own thing. And that's where we are now. So I got into music.
That's freaking awesome. I think I remember you talking to me about um like how you got FL Studio.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember I think I went to what is it called? I went to like I went to an electronics store and I saw like the physical copy, like where they had like the little flash drive. It was like
Mm.
$100, and that's where I bought it from. I didn't know you could buy it online at the time.
Yeah. Rose strolled up to the store and was like, "Yeah, let me get that USB."
Yeah, can I get a legit version of FL Studio, please? Like, yeah, man.
But I mean, yeah, we've all been making music for a while, and you can. I feel like everybody starts somewhere, you know. You always get so discouraged in the beginning because everything you make when you start is usually just hot garbage. Unless you're just
Yeah,
like some god tier freaking person or artist, you know, it's usually hot garbage. I mean, what do you
yeah, it's
guys
definitely
think
common.
about like born like born and bred like talent versus practice and hard work and time and experience? Like, do you think people are genuinely just like uh talented just right out the gate, or do you think that talent is something that you have to strive for?
I personally think that talent is like something that is like a thing, but I don't think it's like, oh, that's you just need talent and get anything done. Talent is like, for me at least, I feel like I had the talent because I was able to pick up things quickly. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I mean, after a few weeks, I was already able to do stuff, and I was like, okay, like this is kind of working out. You know, maybe it's just because it just I feel comfortable doing it or something. But then comes the like, at least for me, comes the addiction, where it's like I
Mm.
can't put the thing down, and it's like all I think about. all day, every day. I mean, forget to sleep, forget to eat, and I'm just constantly like playing music, creating. You know what I mean? Especially when I was starting with the guitar, I was like nonstop, and I feel like that is what really like the talent is like the like, oh, okay, like there's something about you, whether you, I mean, because even like in sports, they like, oh, he's got talent because he's like built for the sport. You know what I mean? Like he has the height for basketball. He has some endurance, agility. Now he just needs to be trained and put in the hours. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Um, when it came like to music, I feel like all the years of me listening to music and all the years of just like absorbing everything, and plus it coming a little easier to me, like I just felt like that was part of the talent in the beginning, just because like subconsciously I had the music in my head, and just from all the knowledge I soaked up, and it just kind of came easy to me. And then after that was just the hard work and addiction to like really push that to be like good
mm,
at what you're doing.
for sure. I feel like to be an artist, you have to have some level of like insanity and
A hundred
obsession.
percent,
Like we're
hundred
all
percent
like a little bit cuckoo,
crazy.
like a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit crazy.
yeah.
Like you definitely just can't be a
Yeah,
normal
for sure.
person.
I mean, I guess let me ask you this, because I mean, you've been singing for years. Like,
Mm.
did it feel like it came a little natural when you started singing? I mean, you probably weren't like amazing in the beginning, but you felt like, hey, this is actually like a little natural or kind of easy for me. How did you feel when you started?
That's very funny because when I started making music and singing and writing songs and stuff, I actually didn't consider myself a singer. Like I didn't consider myself a vocalist because I felt like that title carried a lot more responsibility and weight, and I didn't feel like as a singer I didn't feel like I was a singer. Like I didn't feel like I had the skill and the expertise in vocals to call myself a singer. I didn't think I was that great of a singer, and even now I can say I don't think I was that great of a singer. Even now I say that I feel like I still don't think I'm that good of a singer, to be honest with you. Um so initially, I've always considered myself more as a writer and a storyteller, a songwriter. And kind of the reason why I got into making music was because I just wanted to tell stories through songs. Like I just wanted to write songs. I learned how to play guitar by myself because not because I was actually interested in playing guitar, but because I was more interested in writing the lyrics and writing the melodies, like writing a song to sing. And that's why I taught myself to play guitar. And I wouldn't consider myself a guitarist because I don't know that much. I know like super, super basic chords. And, but you get a 4 chord progression and boom, it's a song,
Hmm.
a 2.5 minute song. So I've just always loved music my whole life. My dad was a DJ back in the day. My mom loves to dance. And, Vietnamese people, like, they love karaoke and stuff. Like, I don't know what it is. They love, like, getting drunk and eating food and singing karaoke. So I definitely, like, grew up around that a lot. My mom forced me to sing in front of the party guests a lot, like, almost every party. So I guess I kind of got used to that. Like,
Oh, okay.
basically, like my parents treated me and my brother like human jukeboxes when we were young and just kind of growing up. And my brother, he's a great guitarist. I mean, he taught himself everything that he knows, and he was really, really good. And that was pretty inspiring. And that's kind of why my parents bought me my own like acoustic guitar. And I wasn't really that interested in it. They bought me that guitar when I was probably like, I don't know, 10 or something. I was real young. But I wasn't super interested in it. But it was so funny because so young, they got me that guitar and I wasn't super interested in it. But then when I got into high school, I was like, I have this guitar. I want to make songs. So I'm going to pick it up and teach myself. And then that's how that got the ball rolling. But yeah, I could say now I consider myself a singer, sure. But initially I didn't think that about myself for sure. And yeah, I've just always loved storytelling in every single form factor, to be honest. That's why I do so many different things besides music, and that's why I did so many different things before I started doing music. I've just always loved to like tell stories and express myself and make people feel things and in an interesting way. Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny how everybody picked up the guitar. I tried to pick it up, and then I quickly realized I was playing a right-handed guitar as a left-handed person, and I was like, "I'm cool. I'm not Jimi Hendrix. I'm not gonna try to play this thing upside down."
Jimi Hendrix, iconic for sure. Yeah, I grew up listening to, because of my brother, I grew up listening to a lot of like alternative rock and grunge and rock and metal and stuff like that. So that definitely played a bit into my taste as well. But and I just listen to so many different types of music, and that's why in my own music I always want to just genre blend and sound design and see kind of what type of newness and freshness we can make. Um, you guys can go ahead and get into the production while we just chat, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
if you got any other questions, just throw them at us.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah, if
guys
you got
can
any
just
more questions.
pipe up whenever you want, join the conversation, ask questions back and forth to each other, to me, whatever. We're just here to cook and chop it up. Um, but yeah, working on this song Guilty Party, I wanted to ask you, Chrome, when I was showing you my old demos, what about this song kind of spoke to you?
Low key, like just the energy you brought with your vocals, that was like drawing me the most from those tracks. Like I really love the energy you brought, like just in general. And then like you with Lazy, like all the like just the beat selection in general, just the way Lazy's production was just so like, how do I put it? It was like every track you got on was literally like handcrafted for your voice. And so there was like never anything out of place. It was like, okay, this was made for you. Like you had to be on this. Nobody else was supposed to be on this but you. That's how I felt listening to all of your tracks.
I love
It
that,
was
man, because
like
that's
not a
exactly
hair out of place whenever I
how
listened
it's
to you guys'
approached.
tracks.
I love that. That's exactly how we approach it, or at least how
Mm-hmm.
I approach the production. It's like when there's an initial idea or I make something starting, like even from scratch, is like, I tell kids this too, is like your the voice is in my head as I'm creating, and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Right.
listening to like the pitch, like the frequencies, like she sings in the key, and then like I'll adjust everything, and like I know that it's a very like you know certain frequencies that she sings in, so I'm like very like molding and sculpting around that, so that way when her vocals drop in the track, it's gonna just cut through everything, and it's gonna just sound crazy because everything is gonna just be like not clashing and stuff like that. So everything is treated that way.
Nah, facts. I have that same approach with my own artists, right? Because with my artists, like every beat that I make, like I'll be halfway through it and I'll be trying to make an idea, and like subconsciously I will be making the beat for him. And so like everything fits, like I know his vocal range, I know how his voice sits in the mix. And so like the way like I mix my tracks, like when I'm working with that artist, it's so like deeply ingrained to my brain to where a lot of the tracks I make, I can't help but craft it around his voice naturally. So I definitely feel you on that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that you make with the artists, fire. Honestly, I love listening to y'all's tracks.
Thank you. Much appreciation. Much appreciation. Yeah, we got some stuff coming out soon for sure, for sure.
I'm excited to hear it. Honestly, everything you guys drop is really good.
Man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. We're out here trying to get like you, Ray. Y'all been out here making moves, the sound design,
And
man. Going
we're
crazy.
trying. Honestly, like I tell this to Lazy all the time, but I've never met another producer that I have such great synergy with. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a very particular person and an even more particular artist. I have like very specific needs, a very specific vision and tastes, and I just felt like me and Lazy, our inspirations and influences, they're some of it's like different, right? Which brings in that diversity, but a lot of it is also very similar and the same, you know,
Mhm.
inspired by a lot of similar sounds and things and admiring very similar things. But even more importantly, I feel like we have a very similar philosophy about creating music
Yeah, I
and
feel like that's
about
very
working
important.
with people. Yeah, I feel like
Mm.
people underestimate kind of the intention and philosophy behind art or behind creating music. I feel like people just think about, okay, how can we make a banger, or like how can we make something that just like bumps or something like that, right?
I agree. I heavily agree. Like with me and my artist, Fo, right? Both me and him, like when it comes to music, we are unbelievably like visual, if that makes
Mm,
any sense. Like when we're making a song, there needs to be a setting, a scene, or some type of visual that goes with the song so we know we're going in the right direction. And us having those visuals like mentally helps us go in the same direction so we're not like
straying
clashing.
too far, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like we
It's like
stay
a
within the
creative guideline.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We all stay within the confines of what we're trying to make. And because like aesthetically and like visually, like we're so like aligned, we don't really run into issues of like, well, I'm trying to do this and you're trying to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like 95% of the time we're usually on the same page.
That's always a good feeling when you guys feel like, oh, we're speaking the same language type of thing, you know?
And just like with you and Lazy, I have never had so much synergy with like another artist. Like
Mm-hmm.
me and him, like whether it's like producing or writing, like I could be producing, he'll be writing something, and we'll just be super locked in. And we'll come together. I'll be like, okay, what do you have? He'll tell me some of the lyrics, and I'm like, perfect. I was thinking just that vibe, like you were giving off, or just that flow. We're locked in. Let's do it. You feel me? And
Mm-hmm.
so through that, that's how we make our music. Like we're again always just on the same page.
I have a question for like both of y'all. Since we're talking about like philosophy behind music, right? I was wondering, was there like a turning point in your career that changed your perspective of music or creating music in a large and like significant way compared
Actually,
to
yeah.
like when you initially like started?
Actually, yeah. I'll let Lazy go first. Been talking this whole time.
I'm sorry, kid. Can you repeat that? I was locked in. Go
Now
ahead,
you're
say that again one more time.
good. You're good. Um, so my question was there a turning point in your career that changed your perspective of music or creating music in a large and like significant way compared to where you initially started?
Yeah, COVID.
Mm.
When it hit, and I saw like the whole. I mean, I'm a little bit older, so you like my like knowledge of music and the music industry is like old school
Mm-hmm.
as far as like the whole like signing to the label, getting record deals and all that stuff. That was the kind of stuff I knew about and was like taught, from people and stuff. And so that's how I thought things worked. Once COVID hit and I jumped on the internet more and started seeing all this how things worked, and I was just like, man, like independence was like a crazy thing that I saw how valuable and how abundant it was or was getting around 2019 2020. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, this is pretty dope. And I started following, some influencers and YouTubers and stuff like that were producers, mainly like Curtis King. Shout out to the homie. And I saw how independent he was doing everything, and he was offering like courses and stuff. And I did one of them just to kind of really learn about like branding, how everything works as far as like being an independent artist, musician. And I learned so much from him, and it just was mind blowing, and it completely shifted my approach to my career as a producer, musician, whatever. And it just made me realize that Like you didn't need that old mentality anymore. You didn't need a label anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
now 2024 going to 2025, that's even more in like relevant. Like it's like you do everything on your own now. I mean, like look at us right now. Like you got your own, show going on, and we're cooking up, an EP. You know what I'm saying? Ourselves, and you're your own artist. We're our own producers. No label. Like we do whatever we want now. You know what I'm saying? And we can push it however we want. We can, yeah. The sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So that was definitely the turning point when I saw the abundance of creativity and independence during that time.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like now is the time more than ever to really forge your own path. I feel like that works out great for me because I'm kind of just I'm everywhere, but I'm not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all over the place, but with intention. And I think that's great because I really don't like being, contained or confined or kind of put into a box. Um, so it's really nice that we have this landscape now that we can really choose our own path and decide where we want to take things. And, at this point now, I feel like people are finally waking up to the fact that record labels are really just a bank. You take a loan from them and you got to pay them back. You know what I'm saying? Um, but being an indie artist, an indie like musician and all that stuff, it could be hard. It's really difficult. Also, with this landscape now, music and creating music is more accessible than it's ever been. It's really like the decentralization of art, which is super interesting, but it also makes our industry much more saturated.
I feel like it's kind of like how the Renaissance was, where it was just an
Mm,
abundance. Back then, it was just abundance of artistic expression of just music, art, sculptures, buildings. Like it just was, you know what I mean? It just was abundant. I kind of feel like we're at
Hello,
that point where it's just
Glass.
like
Good
a
morning for
renaissance of like
you.
the new way to do things and express oneself. It's just so abundant, and I agree. Like saturated, yes, but you'll be surprised. Like we think it's saturated, but outside looking in, the billions of people in the world, you're just a small little gray area.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We just think about it because we're inside looking out. So it's very cool though.
I do think it takes a lot to stand out. I always say, as an artist, nobody's gonna come looking for you. So you got to make your presence known and unique and authentic and honest. I feel like resonate with the people with a message that is speaking to something truthful.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome time to be honest. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like um it's dope because like yes, like I said, sky's the limit. We can do whatever, like creative wise and everything. But at the same time, you're gonna get a lot of the you know crap that comes with it, where people are just in it just to make a quick buck. People are in it just for like for clout. You know what I mean? But I think
Yeah.
people who really know like good music and really appreciate like immediately identifies it. I like this one thing my homies Danny says is like when I hear a song, I hear the years. Like I hear the experience and I hear the work they put in. And I feel like audience and fans do the same. Like when they hear something they're like I can definitely feel what they were feeling when they made this and I can hear the hard work and the years they put into this. You know what I mean? Versus
Hmm.
just like a cookie cutter track is just like okay, like this is a banger. It's an earworm. It's repetitive. It's like okay, yeah, but like certain songs that are timeless, you can tell like they were put a lot of effort and hard work and a lot of emotion, and I think that's still gonna stand to the future. No matter how many musicians, artists, producers are, good music will always shine through.
For sure. Yeah. Chrome, would you like to like add any comments or thoughts? Chrome shorty. Oh, I think he's AFK right now. He's taking care of
That's
something.
all good. It's all
All
good.
good. Um,
You got any other questions? You have go ahead.
no, for sure. I always chopping it up with you. I mean, we do that regardless. So kind of walk me through your process right now. Like, what are you thinking in your head, laying down these kicks or et cetera, et cetera? Like, how do you find the pocket?
Listening to your vocals, and every instrument has to have its pocket. Every sound has to have its place. And the way I go about it is mostly intuition, like how does it feel,
Mm,
and is it making me move? You know what I mean? Am
mm,
I moving? And sound selection, like is this the right sound? Sometimes I'll have sound just because like it feels right at the moment, then I can go back and change it later. But right now I'm just like building the puzzle and like going off of feeling and intuition. So I'm listening to your vocals, and certain sounds I want to complement the vocals, like a kick hitting when you say something specifically,
yeah.
obviously like a normal beat, or like a sound or texture or a perk to kind of come after like a call and response with your vocals, what I'm saying, but not go to get too crowded. So like all that's kind of just circling right now. And yeah, that's just how I'm going about it.
For sure. Yeah, Pocket and Groove are so intuitive. But I also sometimes wonder, is that intuition come from like experience? Or is that just something that we're kind of like born with, right?
I think it's experience. I think it's also just years of listening to music, and then pulling from what you know,
Mm-hmm.
your intuition pulls from all the music you've listened to throughout your life, and I just treat it like it's a canvas, and I feel like if I already have like the idea here, now it's just like adding colors,
Yeah.
just keep building. And the cool thing is that we can always just take away if it gets too busy. You know what I mean? It's just creating and going with the flow. You know what I mean? I try not to overthink. I used to be very analytical and stuff like that. Was Now I'm just like
Mm.
I just go,
That
and
feels like it may kind of like slow you down for
a
sure.
hundred
I
percent, a hundred
mean,
percent.
I'm a person who thinks a lot. I think a lot.
Yeah, I used to
I'm
too.
yeah, I'm extremely analytical and all that stuff. But an
Hmm.
interesting thing when it comes to making music or writing in general, or when I'm just like ideating, like brainstorming, I'm always just trying to access like that flow state. Just try to get a
Yeah,
workflow that like as few obstacles in front of me as possible. So like when I'm writing music, I just keep it really, really loose and I just follow my intuition and I just keep revising, revising, revising. The same thing with like writing stories, like or writing an essay. I always just kind of collect my thoughts generally in a very like general outline or whatever. Sometimes I'll write out an outline, sometimes I just have a mental outline. And then once the pen hits the paper, I kind of just let it flow. Just dump
yeah,
out all of your ideas, bad, good, whatever. Don't judge it. Just dump it all out.
yep,
And then you revise it, clean it up, sculpt it, like you were saying. And I feel like that really just keeps the flow going rather than kind of coming to a standstill or being stagnant because you're thinking about things too much. Just kind of do what feels right. The whole point of making music is not only to like tell stories or express yourself, but it's also to just kind of like give a feeling.
yep.
And
Agreed.
feelings are universal. It's something that you have to be in tune with in your body, in your heart, in your mind, to communicate. I feel like you guys as producers, in my opinion, are kind of like sonic translators. You take this vision, you take this idea, you take
Like
this
that.
emotion, and you translate that into sound, into music, into something that is going to make somebody move or make somebody cry or make somebody happy. Like that in itself is a craft, being able to translate an emotion, a story, an idea. Yeah. And this is why I just connect with you so much. And I feel like our synergy is really good because you're really good at like sonically translating a vision. And I'm just like a very particular artist. So I have very, very particular like specs or visions or kind of like even in a way I can't fully describe it explicitly because it's an emotion and like it's something that's more ephemeral and abstract. But you get me so well, and you just kind of like understand it. I feel like we're on the same wavelength, so it's really really cool.
I feel like the way, I mean, this is just for me. Everybody has their way of doing things. For me, I feel like I don't. I take what I know. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like I love R&B music. I love trap music. Like, I love all these genres. But I take what I know, and then I don't go in making a track or producing it thinking like, oh, it needs to have this. It needs to like I approach it knowing that it's got to sound or feel a certain way to fit in that genre. Because I don't like, you know, I like you said, fusing genres.
Hmm.
So I'm more of like I listen to sonics and like what sounds right. Like okay, for instance, like these textures and these little perks, you know what I mean? I found these and then I cut them up and I just liked how they sound because they were moving. They had a sonic that I like that kind of like complemented. You know what I mean? It just like small sounds, but it just sonically it just felt good to me to use. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Whether it's something you would use in an R&B track or it was something you use in a trap, you know what I mean? So a lot of the times I don't approach producing like yes, you're gonna have your fundamentals like oh you need the 808, the kick and all that, but a lot of the times I'm just like going and just like adding sounds and I'm like okay if I hear this I'll like oh this would be dope and then I'll start grabbing my percussions and record live stuff and start doing
Hmm.
sound design. Um, yeah, I stop overthinking a lot, to be honest. And if it comes out good, I mean, things kind of just like work out now when I stop thinking so much. And
Hmm.
if it comes out good, it's good.
Facts.
If it doesn't, then it's just like okay, start again, or let's take out what doesn't work or what feels forced. Another good homie of mine, Brian. I was in a Zoom with him a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how like he probably spends maybe 15 minutes on like an idea, like a sample or something. Like he just creates, does a quick mix and like it's good to go. You know what I mean? He's just stopped overthinking stuff. And this guy's got placements like crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just like goes to show you that overthinking, overanalyzing, and stuff like that. It's not, it's cool at sometimes where you get stuck or you know what I mean, and kind of try to figure things out. But for the most part, man, you just create, just make it, just make music, whatever comes out, just you know what I mean? Let it happen. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Keep going.
Yeah.
Facts. I heavily
Welcome
agree with
back,
that.
Chrome.
Good to be back. I was gonna say, I feel like I feel like especially when it comes to art, the second you start like overthinking it or overanalyzing, your brain starts working against you,
Mm.
and like you stop like functioning. Like it becomes harder to reach the flow state, right? So
Hmm.
like me when I produce, it's like no thought, head empty, just straight vibes alone. Like half the time I open up my DAW, no clue what I'm gonna make. Like I'm just like whatever I make is whatever I make. I put some chords down. I start making prime example, right? I remember a few months ago I was making bossa nova, right? And
Mm.
I was like just making the most angelic track ever. And then I was playing around with this contact library called Amadeus Symphonic Orchestra, and I hit the wrong chord. And I was like, that chord's kind of hard. So I closed that whole project, opened up a new one, and then created like an orchestral intro to like a trap. And I did all of that off of trying to make like a bossa nova track. And that's like
Dang.
a prime example of those like no thoughts, like head empty type of moments because you never know what you can make. The second you start thinking like uber critically of like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, and then I gotta put this here, I gotta put this here, it's like you're removing all the creativity because you're starting to set yourself to a bunch of rules. It's like rules aren't fun. Come on now. So yeah, when you start thinking critically and start thinking you have to do A, B, and C, like you're kind of preventing yourself from being as creative as
It becomes like
you're blocking yourself in.
formulaic
Yeah.
rather than this more like process of discovery. I think when you like box yourself into like this formulaic like A, B, C, D kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
then you kind of restrict your discovery, which I'm not saying limitations are bad. I mean, creativity can definitely blossom inside of restrictions, which is great. But it's
Mm,
also kind of like you have to observe whether or not the conventions are kind of, holding you back. Uh,
Facts. I agree.
and I'm sure you guys have that experience with production. And for me as a songwriter personally, this is kind of why I lean into unorthodox songwriting, where I don't always, I mean, of course, I've written a bajillion songs that follow the same kind of intro, verse, pre chorus, chorus, second verse kind of formula, but I also love writing songs with an unorthodox song structure where there is no true verse, no true chorus, but every single section is different and it flows into one another, like just in an organic way, kind of like taking the listener and taking myself as a writer through this kind of journey, exploring these different sonics and atmospheres and emotions. Like I don't think we necessarily need to limit ourselves to these conventions in order to make something that is authentic, that speaks to people, that still bumps. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Hmm.
this in the chat. He put unorthodox songwriting. Oh, is that like questioning or are you
I,
agreeing? Like, what
I think it's
is he?
in agreement.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, because I mean, like, if they need to explain, then that you can further explain like what you mean by that.
Yeah. Amadeus mentioned. Yeah, would you like to expand on that? How you feel about unorthodox songwriting? I personally am a
I
fan.
mean, I am too, and I feel like I mean, even if somebody like need further explanation, you just got to show them like the hunt, basically. You know what I'm saying?
No, for
Show
sure.
them the
I
song,
mean, actually, do you
and
want to
it's
pull
just
that
like,
up?
yeah,
You want to pull that up real quick on your
yeah,
stream?
yeah. I'll drag it in right now.
For those of y'all who haven't heard this, it's a song B and Lazy made together, called "The Hunt." The really, really the Hunt mentioned. Yes, the Hunt has been mentioned. Yes. It's a really good example of unorthodox songwriting, really experimental sound design and production. And honestly, it's just a really hype song. And I'm one of the songs that I'm most proud of.
Our song, the hunt mentioned. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, just this like arrangement. So first of all, I don't know if you told the backstory about this, but
I
this song
haven't.
okay, this song originally I made it as it was kind of like a beat battle, but like it was more of a like, hey, flip this sample, um, and like you'll get something, on the best beat. But it wasn't technically a beat battle. It goes like crazy, like full blown blasting 808s and drum fills and all that. This was more like it was like kind of a battle, but it's like more like, okay, here's a sample, flip it, which one sounds the best. So I made this beat with that intention, so I literally made transitions like often. I made constant transitions, instruments. Like I just did it like, but it was just like kind of held back. It wasn't like going crazy. That was the original idea for this track that I did and submitted, and I got second on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and it was definitely more of like the smoother, chill tracks that I've done before. But then when you heard it, and then you just recorded to it, I was blown away. I was like, dude, like the way you approached it, I was like tripping because I was like, this was
You
not
didn't like
arranged.
imagine.
It wasn't arranged to be for an artist. So that was, I would say that was a turning point. Personally, realized like, okay, like that made me want to do more songs because I was like,
Really?
the fact that you wrote to a beat, like a quote unquote beat battle song, was like mind blowing.
You know what? Because I'm
And
about that.
yeah, yeah, and the fact that you found pockets, you know what I mean, and then you just
Hmm.
switch up flows. But yeah, yeah, I'll run it real quick. It's not a long song because like it was made for a battle, so like the beat battles not supposed to go over like a minute and a half. So
Exactly.
that's exactly how long it is. You know what I mean? So it's just hilarious. All right, let me run this.
Keep calling, baby, keep calling
Yeah.
That song is so
I
hard.
That was
thank
crazy.
you. I love that song so much. It's so funny. Um Honestly, I totally get what you mean, lazy, by like it kind of took you aback. I was taken aback by myself, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
And plus, I
but
hadn't heard, not to cut you off, but plus I hadn't heard you do any kind of like rapping. You gotta
mm,
like only heard the songs you had on Spotify. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like the singer, like chill kind of R&B ish popish stuff. So like when it just blew, it took me. I was like, where does rapping and free like all this flow come from? And you know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, yo, hold up.
I've got a few aces up my sleeve, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um but you know what was really impressive as well though? You sent me that track. Like I had never heard that beat before, but I don't know. I think I remember you telling me because I asked you, I was like, oh, what kind of drove you to send this to me? Because again, you've never heard me do anything like that on this kind of beat. Um, and I think when I asked you at the time, you just told me like you just had this gut feeling that I could hop on it and that I was gonna kill it. And I just thought that was really impressive. Like we really have this interesting synergy and wavelength. Even though you've never heard me done anything like that before, you kind of had this gut feeling like, oh yeah, I feel like she could hop on this. And I
I also wanted
really
to see like
loved
the
it.
limits too. I
Yeah,
kind of
the
was like, what
limits.
can you do? Like it's like okay, like I can hear it, but like can you hear yourself doing it? And kind of like I remember thinking like I knew it would sound crazy just because like the beat is a very low and heavy beat, and so I was like you know I know the vocals will sound crazy on it, but like how would you approach it? You know what I mean? Do you believe yourself that as much as I do? You know what I'm saying? So like
Precisely.
you went crazy though.
Which is the beautiful thing about our collaboration or our partnership is I feel like we continually push each other to go further and
Yeah.
further, which is amazing. I feel like you should always work with people and be around people who encourage you and push you to be better and to grow. I think that's like in all aspects of life, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of how we evolve as people. And I like the first moment I heard the entire like the beat before writing on it, I was immediately enamored. Like I loved it. I love this sound. I love the genre blending. I love rock and hip hop and all of these different sounds. And I love how it kind of just flowed. There wasn't any like particular definitive like verse, chorus, and pre-chorus and all this other stuff. And it really felt like a interesting and diverse playground for me to just jump into. Um, and I kind of like dabbled around here and there with like darker sounding stuff and heavier sounding stuff. I really love that vibe and I love that atmosphere. Um,
We talked about that too when we one time
mhm.
you were kind of telling me your influences. I was like, oh, we both were into that SoundCloud era. You know what I mean? Where it was just all
Yes, like
that dark banging 808s and
underground
underground SoundCloud time.
underground
Yeah.
hip hop stuff, you know, like I feel like that's really the scene if you guys want to see kind of the music on the horizon. SoundCloud
Oh
has
yeah.
amazing underground communities. Um, Somebody said in chat,
Agreed.
linear composition. Yeah, I'm really into like non-linear composition. I just find it so interesting. And you know, Chrome uh is part of, you know, a huge underground kind of community on SoundCloud too. And I think the music that y'all make is just like you guys are all constantly pushing each other to be better, making new sounds and like being inspired by each other, collaborating with each other. And I really think the sound and the music that has come out of y'all's like shared community is really unique and I love it so much.
I
Like I want to hear
agree.
it on the radio.
I always say, like, if we're being honest, even though SoundCloud is a dying platform, it manages to still be ahead of the curve, like
Hmm.
musically. Like
Yeah.
every time I see a new
For
sound coming out
years.
in the industry, like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear it first on SoundCloud almost
Hundred
Mhm.
every
percent.
single time. It never
Yep.
fails.
To the point where popular artists are ripping from like SoundCloud communities and
Exactly.
artists and
Yeah.
producers and stuff because it's just like, bro, it's really like the pioneers, like
Yep.
the frontier of music. And there's a lot of people who got their start off of SoundCloud too. Like for
Yep.
example, what like Kalani, right? Kalani
Mhm.
was discovered through SoundCloud, and she's like huge
Trippie
now.
Redd,
Trippie Red,
XXX Extension.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All those
Mm-hmm.
guys. I mean,
Even like Billie Eilish, right? Like I found her music 7, 8, I don't know, years ago on SoundCloud.
yep.
And like I think Black Bear did a remix of her like Ocean Eyes and stuff like that. And I heard that as well.
Mhm.
Like, and now she's like international global freaking superstar, you know, and
Yeah.
she has a really unique sound and identity. And yeah, I just feel like SoundCloud is really like the playing grounds for the stomping grounds for just kind of different sounds, different music, and it's just so fascinating.
Because there was no label to tell them what to do. You know,
Exactly.
no execs, nobody in suits trying to control the music. There were people like us who just wanted to make what they wanted to make. Whether I mean, listen to a lot of those older like '08, 2010 tracks of the SoundCloud rappers and stuff. Like you
Mhm.
heard these guys doing like you know super like distorted 808s. Things were clipping like all this stuff that's like like normal now and crazy loud snares and reverb and just
Mhm.
ambient tracks like Bones and Suicide Boys were going crazy like all these styles and mixing genres and like Ghostman mixing like metal and stuff like that like you just hear like all these like they didn't care like they just made what they wanted, you know what I mean, and super talented artists and producers and just the freedom, and that's why it
Yeah.
sounded the way it sounded. But then like you said, then it's like a sound you can't deny how dope it is. You can't deny how
Facts.
good it was. You can't, and so if I like being in the industry and artists in the industry, they're like, dude, this is hot. Like we have to like do something with this, or like that's why I got ripped because it's just good music. Like I said before, it's like good music will always come through. Like
Mhm.
no matter how small or big an artist is.
For sure. And the thing with
Facts.
SoundCloud too is just as simple as hit and upload. Like
Yep.
you just have an audio file and
Free.
just hit upload like for free. Nothing, it's really again having a platform that's decentralizes like music and art is really really powerful. You get to hear so much more diversity in sounds, in stories, in identities and personalities. So yeah, shout out
Yeah,
SoundCloud.
man.
No, huge shout out SoundCloud.
I remember when I was working at a factory. This was years ago, man. And a homie, put me on SoundCloud. And he also gave me a USB of tracks he downloaded. Like
Mm,
he's like, "Yo, these are all songs. Like you got to get on SoundCloud." He downloaded a bunch of songs and albums, and I was like, "I don't know what that is, but whatever." He gave me a USB. He's like, "Yo, these are some songs and albums like on SoundCloud, bro. Check them out." He's like, "Here, I was like, all right, cool." Took the USB home, and that's when I first heard Kendrick's like C4 and like
mm,
Kendrick Lamar's Section 80, like his like earlier
Mhm.
stuff,
yeah.
and I heard like J. Cole's like first stuff, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? And I heard like, and I was a fan of like early like '90s hip hop, so like I heard like elements that I was familiar with, and like dope like compositions and flows, and especially like the jazz beat, like the beats that incorporated jazz, and I was like, this is fire, man, and
Jazz
like I remember,
mentioned.
yeah, I remember calling it early on, man. I was like, yo, Kendrick is gonna blow. This was way before he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, and like I
Yeah.
just immediately heard it, like I knew it. And there's just like these crazy like dope artists that like will upload their music to SoundCloud, and it's like you just like knew they were special.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel bad for people who weren't there for like 2013, 2014,
Mm-hmm.
2015 SoundCloud.
It
Because I'm
was
not going to lie,
crazy.
growing up, like with my music taste,
Iconic, dude.
Yeah,
SoundCloud played an integral part
yeah.
to my growth, like developmentally as a child, bro. Like I feel like SoundCloud put some more wrinkles in my brain just from some of the
Facts,
tracks that
bro.
I heard,
Bro,
bro.
when Monty like was dropping stuff on SoundCloud like early,
Yup,
man, I was just
yup,
mind blown. When I was hearing his name
facts.
Dillip when he was doing stuff production wise,
Yeah.
and like shout out to the homie Golden Child. He's in the bounce scene and like the like
Hmm.
crazy producer. And
Yep.
he like was showing me a lot of his, like he shared his playlist, and I was like, yo, like some of the producers I were familiar with, and I was like, yo, like these guys were way ahead of their time, like just musically, sonically, and man, it was a great time too. I remember like discovering stuff. It's like you could just literally like discover things, and then people doing remixes. Yo,
Dude, the
those
remixes is why
those
I make remixes
yeah,
now.
those are
I am
crazy.
telling you. Like when I tell you, like growing up, I remember it so vividly. And the all the music I create is to recreate the feeling I used to get
Yeah.
walking to the bus stop, getting ready to go to school early in the morning. It's like 6 a.m. It's cold outside. I got my headphones in and I'm just listening to all the R&B on SoundCloud. Like I
Mhm.
remember listening to Rain by Harris Cole. That song, banger. I remember listening to Louis Rain. I was listening to Oshi, all of his tracks. I was running those into the ground. That's when I discovered Early Party Next Door when he dropped his first project. When he first dropped that project, I had all those songs on repeat. And
That's
like,
fire.
I don't know, man. I feel like SoundCloud completely changed my brain chemistry, bro, for the better.
Yeah, it definitely when I started listening to it, man, it definitely just it excited me because I was like I had listened to a lot of music, but like I feel like I had discovered, you know what I mean? Because before, like we had to go to the CD stores and like go
Yeah.
look
Mhm.
for like song like new artists that way. Our homies would download CDs and burn songs that they found on like LimeWire and everything,
Yeah.
and like pass it around at school. And that's how we discovered bands. But like when like streaming came out like that, like SoundCloud, it was man, you would find stuff
Game
you just
changer.
like yeah, 100%. Man, I remember just like finding rappers and stuff and like yo thinking at the time because like I didn't know, but I was like, why aren't these people like bigger than they are now, or why are they not famous? It's like you know, yeah, just it was a cool time.
You know what's even crazier too? I
Mm.
remember I remember my sophomore year of high school. Again, back to Braden Bailey. That guy completely like changed my sound musically. I was listening to his music and I remember thinking I didn't even know music like this existed. I didn't even know sounds like this existed. I never knew that you could chop up vocals this way and morph it into a track. It was just like that era of SoundCloud, it was always stuff that I was hearing that I didn't know existed and just blending different genres I didn't know existed. It was just so much stuff. It felt like hearing music for the first time again, honestly.
Yeah, I
That's
feel that. I
yeah,
feel
Yeah.
that
it felt
because
like hearing music for the first time again.
yeah, dude, that's a good way to like put it because dude, I didn't put SoundCloud down for like a year, bro. Like it was just a normal. I stopped listening to everything else. Like even like my favorite music, like I was just so into the fact of discovering new artists, like truly
Hmm.
discovering. And you listen back, and some of those songs were just like they still feel good, they sound good, and even the mixes were like horrible.
Niggas
Like
were dog
the
water, bro.
mixes were like, yo,
Fire.
this is super ear piercing hi hats, snares, 808s are loud as crazy, like is reverb on everything, like you know what I mean. And I just remember listening to like these guys, like one for sure, like Bones. I remember hearing when he first started putting music out, and that just was like mind blowing to hear this guy rap, do screamo, yelling and guitars and like 808s and all this on the same track, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, like what is going on? This is like the sound, and this is mind you before I was producing. Like this is a sound I've been wanting to hear, and like I know like he's not like the first one, but it's just like you know that moment where you like you said like discovering new music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like dang, that was just so mind blowing. Um, yeah, man.
I love discovering new artists and new sounds, and it's just it's so exciting. It's
It is.
100%.
so exciting, but it's even more interesting or satisfying when you do it yourself. Like you just
Yeah.
mess around and you're not really thinking of anything in particular. You're just kind of cooking up, and then you find this sound or you create this interesting thing. It's kind of like a thing where hindsight is like 2020 when you're like
Mhm.
in the process, in the journey of creating. You're just so deep in it. You just keep going. You're just kind of following the flow. Like I always say to what my performance director in Therefore, because sometimes he'll say, "Oh, you could do this or you can do that," and I'll just or try doing this, and I just tell him, bro, I operate off of vibes only. Like I'm just vibes only. Like don't talk to me about chorus. Don't talk to me about scales. Like I don't know jack about any of that stuff. I was operating off of vibes only, and I think I generally have a pretty good intuition when something sounds right or not. But it is super exciting when you finish a project or a song or even just a little bit of a thing and you listen back to it and you're like, wow, this is a gem or this is different or it just speaks to you in a different way.
Who was like someone like that was on the top for you in your SoundCloud era, in your SoundCloud time? Like who was the
Oh,
person?
dang, that is super tough.
Yeah.
I feel like I listen to so much different stuff. I also have like really bad memory. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I definitely remember discovering like Suicide Boys and Bones and stuff like that. Um, there's also this one artist, Lund.
I think I
Uh,
know. I
Dude,
think I know
I
who that is.
love
I
Lime.
think I know
I
who you're talking about.
completely forgot that
yeah,
man existed. Yeah, his music is
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I remember discovering Lund
Lime
and
is dope.
when I found him, bro, like I listened to just all of his tracks. I was just so fascinated by all of it. Who else, bro? Like you know what? Let me scroll through my old like SoundCloud playlist and
Dude,
let's
I'm
see
doing
like
that
what's
right
in there.
now, bro.
Cause it's been way too many years for me to remember all of
Yeah,
the
similar
tracks.
similar like you. It was those artists as well. I
Oh
mean,
snap. Night Lavelle.
yeah,
Night
Night
Mm.
Level, Night
Lavelle,
Level.
bro.
Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say that.
Mm.
Night Level is still fire. He still tours and stuff. Um,
Yes.
Mellow Hype. I don't know if y'all. Yeah, that dude was dope too.
Elena Barras. How do you say her last name?
Alina
I discovered
Baraz,
Baraz.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Baraz.
discovered
Yeah,
her
yeah,
off of
Yes.
SoundCloud. Yep.
yeah.
Yo, I remember playing her song Fantasy on repeat, just playing like Minecraft and just playing Fantasy and like some other stuff. She had this like unreleased song called like I don't know if it's like something about roses or something.
Pretty.
Oh,
I love Pretty Thoughts. That was like my
Pretty
go-to.
Thoughts was good too, and like Paradise and stuff like that, you know. I listened to like what Belly is Dead. I listened to like Logic's old like mixtapes.
Oh man, I
Um
forgot about that. Yeah,
Dude, I
yeah.
Chance the
don't know
Rap,
about
Chance the
you,
Rapper
man.
was on there too. Like his
Yep,
early
Chance the
stuff. Chance the
Rapper.
Yep.
Rapper, man,
Listen to what Puya freaking
crazy.
who else? Getter.
Dude, I was in the
Um
micro communities on SoundCloud. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like the super niche,
oh,
like I was heavily involved in those.
I think I found Xavier Omar on SoundCloud.
Oh, Xavier Wolf. Oh my gosh, dude,
Xavier Wolf, bro.
bro.
That's a huge one. I
I
remember
remember
He
that
discovering his
too.
song.
bro, when I found him, like, cause obviously he collabed with Bones in them, but like when I found it, like, listen to his album, his logo would just stood out, and I saw people having put it still in tech to this day. Like I saw like not too long ago his logo like a decal, huge decal on somebody's back car on the back of their
The
window.
Wolf with the
Yeah,
samurai
with the
swords on
samurai
it. Yes,
swords, bro.
sir.
Like that's hard, bro. Like that.
That's
I
too
love
hard.
that logo, and
It's a staple.
it's a stable, bro. And then like you listen to his album, the way he like named his album, like chapters, and it was just, bro, that man was crazy.
Oh, snap. This one artist I found on SoundCloud, Teflon Sega. Do you guys know who that is?
That
I don't
sounds
think
very
I don't
familiar.
think so.
Oh my god. I gotta play y'all a track. Hold on.
Definitely.
It's crazy. Let me let me pull up my SoundCloud. Bum, bum, bum.
I was on the producer. Y'all were on the artist side. I was on the producer side. I was listening to people like Win32, Flying
Mm.
Raging, Gold SMG.
Oh, I've heard of Gold. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, uh Oshi, Sam Gellatry. Oh my god, discovering Sam Gellatry. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
I remember discovering this song 22 Hours by Teflon Sega. Ooh, this song is so good.
You should be glad I should have killed you when I had the chance.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm. This was the stuff I listened to like at the gym.
Real.
Yeah, that's dope.
This song is dope.
Anyways, yeah.
You know what's crazy to think about?
Mm.
Low key, our community, we're gonna be like up next in those conversations. They're gonna be like, remember listening to Kid Presley? Remember listening to Lazy Eye Music? Remember listening to chrme.shwty, bro? On the way to blah 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 blah.
Bro, you funny. I hope it's like
Uh,
that.
Nah, for real though. I've actually had this conversation with somebody.
Who?
Like, so me and Full Body Durag, we had this we were talking about it before. How like growing up we were listening to a lot of SoundCloud and we were like just reminiscing on the artists we would listen to at like pivotal times in our life, like just like going through adolescence and just like just being teenagers in general and just the type of music we were listening to. And we were like, dang, it's really crazy to think about like we're gonna be that for somebody else, because both me and him, like we have like a heavy listener count now. So it's
Mm.
like to know that we're like forming those memories from somebody for somebody else, the same way like other producers and other artists have formed that for us, is like it's almost trippy to think about. You
I
feel
was
me?
just gonna say, like, it's so trippy. I remember like getting DMs from, because I started first releasing music on SoundCloud as well, and like what, the past year I got a DM from somebody, right, a
Hmm.
while back, that they were like, hey, what happened to this song on SoundCloud, like, do you still have it, da 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 da, because I would remove songs
Hmm.
from SoundCloud. And I'm like, yo, I dropped that song like 5 years ago. It's crazy that people are like taking the effort to find my Instagram, reach out to me, because I go by a different artist name now. It's crazy that people go out their way to contact me and ask about this music that I made forever ago. And I honestly don't think it's that good, but it means something to somebody out there, which is amazing.
That's real though, because I've done that for other people. Because like I remember reaching out to a producer that I listened to. I was like, dude, I remember, like, I have the name of your track burned into my brain, bro. Please tell me you still have the audio file so I can at least listen to it. He was like, yeah, bro, what's your email? And he sent it to me.
That is
And
so
now
tight.
any track that I've taken down that I still have like in my possession, if somebody's like, hey man, can I get this, bro? Like,
You just
I
send
got
it to
some
them.
memories with this track. I just send it to him, bro. I don't even
Right.
question it.
Real. Yeah, literally just the other days, I was catching up with an old like music friend of mine,
Mhm.
and I even offered like, oh yeah, you should come on KP radio. Like I would love to interview you and just kind of like talk, make music, or just kind of do whatever. And she was so down, and she was talking to me about how like, oh my god, I was looking for this one song. Like, do you still have it? Yada yada yada. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now. And I just sent her the file because I still had it. Honestly, a lot of music files I've lost because my uh hard drive just kind of died. And
Same.
2 years of my FL project's gone, but you know, it's all good. I use Ableton now. I lost a lot of
It's almost
stuff.
5 for me, so I feel you on that. 4 or
Mm,
5. Yeah.
yeah, it's tough. But you know, we keep it moving. We always gonna make better music, so it's no stress. But yeah, it was just so cool. So I was like, yeah, of course. It just means that you're a true supporter, and of course I'm gonna send that file.
Every single time, man. Every single
Mm-hmm.
time, bro. I low-key need to start putting my music on Bandcamp though. For sure.
I'm thinking about doing that soon. At least, or maybe not soon, but whenever we're done with this project, with the EP, with the album, whatever, I'm gonna be putting it on Bandcamp. And I'm thinking of also putting up my like isolated vocals, my acapella, for sale on Bandcamp for, you know, any producers who wanna chop it up, make some remixes, whatever. Here to give back to the community, you know.
Oh yeah, Kit.
Mm.
Dude, recently I feel like I've made one of my best songs and I've been meaning to show this to you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, show it to me.
So remember how I was telling you about Braden Bailey? Like how
Yep.
he like literally kickstarted my whole like music career. Funny enough, he would do these crazy like explosive intros into the track. And he still does them to this day. Cause he goes by Where Is Alex now, right? He still does it. And dude, like I've been wanting to make intros like that for years, but I just never had the know-how. And now I do.
What do you mean? You're like heartbreak volumes. Got some crazy intros.
Yeah, the Heartbreak Volume 1 and 2 has like insane intros, yeah, for sure. And now I can like finally make them like consistently.
Yeah, bro, pull that project up. I want to take a peek. I want a little peek. Oh, all right. Let me tap in. All right. You know, I gotta appreciate how aesthetic you are, Chrome.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
When it comes to color coordination and like my DAW, dude, it has to be like
I love the earth
pristine.
tones, you know.
Thank you. So yeah, this is the project. This is what I made. I did a little remix, you know.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Go grab some water. I'll be back.
All right. Ooh. Don Toliver.
Yep.
I like the bass line.
Thank you.
There's a good groove to it.
shine without no reefer.
Mm.
Up myself, you know I need you. It's time to pop my legs, I need a reader. Red to see that. One league got that, two league got the heater. Raise to the back like Queen Latifah. I can feel my face, I'm in here so cool.
Yeah, that's the song pretty much.
That is nice, dude. You're always so smooth. I love it. Like every time you show me something, I'm always thinking to myself, this is so smooth. Like, oh my gosh, the melodies, the groove, and just like the atmosphere, man. I really loved your like intro and how it just flowed into like the drums. It really just dropped in super nicely and it was seamless. Like, wow.
Thank you. And it's funny too, because I wasn't even intending to create this, because this melody was like the first thing I came up with. Right. And I was on the call with Cert. He was
Mm.
like, bro, you should do like some Leon Thomas stuff with this, bro. Like this
Oh
will go
my
hard.
gosh,
And
Leon
so I
Thomas, yeah.
really leaned into it. And then I decided, like, after I built the beat out, I went back and then I made this entire intro. And that's how this whole track came together.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, Leon Thomas is fire. I
I'm
love
glad he's
your
finally getting flowers.
remixes. No, for
Thank
real.
you.
It's been a long time coming, but yeah, I always love your remixes. I mean, whoever's watching this right now, definitely check out chrme.shwty on SoundCloud, on Spotify, everywhere, you know. You make good songs, you make good remixes. You're just always so smooth with it. Like I really, you know, when I think about smooth music, I always think of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey man,
And
like we talked about growing up, that's all I listened to was like just
yeah.
really smooth music. So
And you know, I think it's really nice to hear like that inspiration and influence in your music. Like it really comes through very clearly to me. And for people who like that type of music, I think it resonates with them very clearly. I mean, look at the numbers, you know what I'm saying? People love that shit.
facts. Facts.
It just
Yeah.
hits
I'm
you.
glad a lot of people are resonating with my music. If I'm being honest, for like a very long time,
Mm,
I was making music just for me. I was making stuff I wanted to listen to.
mm,
And then I saw that I was like slowly gaining traction. I was like, see what everybody else want to listen to. Let me tap in. But yeah, I do
for
feel like
sure.
smoothness of some of these tracks resonates with some people. I agree.
I feel like, dude, I feel like I'm floundering, you know? It took me a while to kind of get to the point where I'm at now because I just have so many different influences and inspirations, you know? It's
Mm.
really hard to kind of determine what's going to be the music that I make, what's the sound, you know, what's the vibe. Uh,
Right.
like, and it's kind of why I feel like Lazy was also taken aback with like the hunt, for example, because that's like a beat battle beat. It's just hard and it's experimental, but like my official music doesn't reflect what I'm actually capable of because I've experimented a lot. I've done a lot of different things. I mean, you know, people mainly know me for like, you know, R like chill R&B, like pop music, maybe some hip hop influence, right? But really I have a lot of roots elsewhere, like singer songwriter, folk music, freaking rock, hip hop, R&B, trap, like all these other things. And um, I don't know. There's also just like different subcategories, like subgenres as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
No, facts. I feel that heavy because like it's the same with me. Like most people know me for only like R&B. They're like, "Oh yeah, dude, you make like smooth music." And then I show them my playlist and they're like, "Hold on, like what's all this indie rock music in here?"
mm-hmm.
They're like, what's all this trap metal in here? And what's all like this heavy metal in here? And I'm just like,
Yeah,
dude,
trap metal's fire.
trap metal is so fire.
And then also like K-pop as well, you know, like I'm an Asian artist and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my audience, they are also into like K-R&B and K-pop and like K-hip hop and stuff like that. So I tend to kind of get associated with, you know, those type of artists, that type of sound and those communities and stuff like that, which I do take inspiration from those sources as well for sure, but it's also just not entirely of who I am, you know. I'm not Korean. um you know, I'm Vietnamese American, so it's just really interesting to see all these different things come together and become, I guess, the sound that I have today. And I still do a lot of different things on the side, like with sync licensing or when I do like K-pop songwriting for other groups and stuff, you know, I draw from those different inspirations. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like being a person and an artist and a writer that's so versatile, it's been a journey. It's been really difficult, a struggle almost to kind of really hone in on what's going to be me, right? What is going to represent me, but also not kind of box me in or cage me into this one kind of thing, but
Mm-hmm.
also what is authentic to me. Like, who am I truly as a person, as an artist, and how do I want my music to represent that? How do I want my brand as an artist to represent that? That's something I've, for these past 2.5 years that I haven't released official music, that's been the question that I've been chasing the answers for. And I feel like I'm close, but I'm in the discovery process now. I feel like I have an idea. I feel like I have guidelines. But now it's really just getting into making the music, experimenting with it, and seeing what's born from that discovery process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. I feel like musically discovering yourself and like trying to figure out like who you are in the music space is really hard to do, especially if you're like so multifaceted, like with your sound in general, right? Because I know for me, for like the longest time, like you said, like in the beginning, I was kind of floundering around too for a very long time. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was in large part because I had no community. I feel
Mm.
like the second I discovered Discord and I started working with other people, my music got infinitely better. But before that, dude, hot garbage. Like, thank God my hard drive died, bro.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
and I
It
feel
was
like
a
that kind of
sign.
pushed me to get better too. Yeah, it was a sign, bro. It was a sign.
No, for sure. I mean, it's interesting. When I first started making music, I actually really just mainly did songs on my guitar.
Mm,
And I also like produced a little bit. I don't call myself a producer exactly, but I did self produce a lot.
yeah, I'm not gonna
These
lie.
guitars are fire.
It's like me right now. Like I've been doing a little bit of singing and like background vocal work for friends, but I wouldn't call myself a singer necessarily.
Hey, you wanna put some vocals on this track? On Guilty Party?
I'm not that good. Like
What you
the
talking
vocals are
about?
not that good. Trust.
Come on. All right. Well, but yeah, I did some self production and such, and oh man, it was not great. It was all right. I mean, I really started on my phone, GarageBand on my phone, and some other production apps on my phone, and then
Dude, same.
I moved up to the iPad, and then I moved up to like a MacBook that I would borrow from school. And
Cooking off the Chromebook.
yeah, I mean, it was a MacBook.
Yeah,
I actually
man.
used the MacBook for like my graphic design and web design stuff
Oh, nice.
when I was like studying that in high school. But then my teacher at the time, He was like my advanced web design / graphic design teacher at like the Korean Technical Center. I was super
Mm.
tight with him, and he was cool. Like he was a bit younger, like in his 30s or late 20s at the time. So I don't know. I just really liked him. I really resonated with him. He was always so encouraging, and he gave me my first like USB mic, which is like that crappy, what, blue snowball
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
the snowball mic. Yeah,
And that was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then he let me like borrow um the career center's like MacBook and stuff, and I would make music on GarageBand and all that stuff. And you know what's funny? I remember showing him the first song I ever released before I got into self production, all that. It was literally my first song I ever put out on SoundCloud that was like a proper song, was literally just a voice memo on my phone of me singing and playing my guitar at like 3 a.m. That's literally all it was. I put like the tiniest bit of reverb on it, and
mm.
I just uploaded that to SoundCloud. And I remember showing my teacher for the first time the song, and I was like, "Hey, you want to check out the song I made?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I played it for him, and I'm not joking, dead ass. Like he just looked at me, and he was like, "That's not you."
That's
like
crazy.
he literally looked at me just straight up dead ass, like no funny, no jokes at all. And he was like, "That's not you. Like that's not you singing."
Dude, that's
And
actually crazy.
I know it is. It is crazy. And I literally, I looked at him and I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean that's not me? I literally wrote this, recorded this. It's on my phone. I can sing it live a cappella for you. Like, you want me to prove that this is me, that this is my voice?" Um, and I think it's just because my singing voice is so different from
Hmm.
when I talk. And that was the first song I ever showed people publicly, truly. And yeah, I still get that sometimes too. Sometimes people say to me, like, "Yeah, sometimes it's so weird for me to think that that's you singing because you just sound so different."
Dude, I get that, but with producing, like, I'm not gonna lie, like when people meet me like IRL, I do not tell them that I make music like at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if they ask, like, I'll lightweight lie, dude. I don't care. So funny enough, dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I was in my recluse era,
Mm,
my pastor kind of noticed, right? And this was
mm,
like pre-pandemic, during, nah, this was for sure during the pandemic. Yeah. So like at this time, like all the schools were closed down. I was still doing like my work online and whatnot. And he invited me out to lunch. We went to this Mexican restaurant, we sat down, and he's like asking me about life. He's like, "Yeah, man, like how you doing?" Blah 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 blah
mm-hmm.
blah. He's an older gentleman, right? And
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, man, like I noticed like you don't talk much very more. You don't talk much anymore. It feels like we don't know like very much about you. Like you kind of come into service, like you pay your tithes and you kind of leave." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know." And he was like trying to like get me to open up about my interests because like this man has known me since I was like 10 years old. And like it's kind of crazy to know somebody that long and then feel like you don't know
Right.
them anymore because they've just kind of backed up from everybody, right? And so
Right.
he was like, "So like what do you do? Like I don't know what your hobbies are. Like what are your interests?" And I was gonna in at first I was gonna be like, like I don't know. I just kind of like watching movies, but I was like, "Nah, let me not lie to this man of the cloth." So I told the truth. I was like, "Yeah, I'm into art. Like I do graphic design and I do music." He was like, "Really?" He was like, "Let me see some of your graphic design." And I was
Mm.
like, "Oh, I didn't think you were gonna ask." So I showed him the graphic design. He was like, "You made this? This is like really good." He's like, "Are you making money off of this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And like I told him the type of numbers I was putting up. Because I was telling
Mm.
them, I was like, yeah, I make like a decent amount of money off of it. Like I sell to like artists and producers who are like putting out projects. And then I showed him some of the music, and he was like, I can't believe you're making all of this. And I was like, yeah. How long you been producing for? And I was like, a couple of years now. Like, I'm still getting better. I feel like I'm just getting good at it. And it was right around the turning point. Like, I was transitioning to art too. So that's what he was
Mm.
hearing. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Bro, you're really my twin because the way that we both have like art and like visual art and graphic design backgrounds and then also make music, it's just like, I don't know.
Dude, it's insane. You know what's crazy? I feel like you probably picked up on graphic design very quickly too.
Oh,
Because like
yeah.
for me, like when it comes to Photoshop, it took me literally no time.
Yeah.
Like, I think it took me 4 months to really start selling my art, and that's when I was like making like the most money off of it.
You know, the interesting thing, I never did or promoted my freelance graphics all that much, you know? The interesting
I
thing was
I
the
did.
time that I actually made like the most money through my creative endeavors was actually through music.
Really?
Yeah, and that's kind of like how I knew like, oh yeah, this is the one. Like this is the one for me, you know? Not only that, but you know, I love making music for sure. It's not about the money. I wouldn't be doing
Mhm.
this if it was about money. I would be like a lawyer or something.
Dude, same. I tell people that all the time. I was like, I feel like a small part of me, like, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, dude, if this starts getting stressful to the point where I hate it, I think I'm gonna stop doing it, and I kind of don't want that to happen. You feel me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't ever want like the business side of music to kill my passion for music. You feel me?
That's true. I mean, when it starts feeling like work, that's really like, and you're gonna just swamp with so much of it. That's really kind of, it's hard to keep that fire alive. Oh,
Not for sure.
I can hear your guitar, Lazy.
Oh, my
And you
bad.
know what's
Are
funny
you
too?
good?
Whoever said, oh, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. 100% liar.
Yeah.
That was the biggest lie I've ever been told in my life. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's kind of interesting because, you know, how I feel like I leveled up in music, you know, was when I stopped treating music like a hobby and started treating it like it's my job.
Really?
That's like really like started treating myself as I'm a professional. This is my job. It's not just a hobby no more. It's not just like, yeah, whatever, messing around, right? Like now I'm locked in. Like I'm like the moment I got actually really serious about like being a musician and being a songwriter, that's really kind of when I started seeing things shift in my life and more opportunities come my way and all this other stuff that I was discovering for sure.
Dude, that is crazy because I feel like I'm kind of the opposite because I feel
Mm,
like when I was like personally, I was like, this is something I want to do. Like I was thinking about going to school for it. I was like, I feel like I was trying to like bully myself into making something good. And as soon
mm,
as I was like, bro, let me just have fun with it. That's when I started exploring different genres, trying new techniques, and really
mm.
locking into my craft and wanting to get better. The second I stopped taking it so seriously.
I
So
feel
that's kind
like
of that's kind of crazy.
that is interesting. I think I'm more similar to Lazy in the way where I work really well under pressure. Like I'm
Mm.
constantly always like putting myself under pressure over and over again, and that's really kind of how I expanded my horizons more and grown as a person. Because I'm kind of like the type of person where it's like if I don't feel like a sense of urgency, I'm just not gonna do it. Or I kind of just like basically do whatever I want and whatever satisfies me in the moment, you know? So of course I'll make
Mm.
music whenever I want to, whenever I feel like it, whenever I'm in the mood to. But when something needs to get done, you know, when something is urgent, it needs to get done, and I'm suddenly not the only person in the picture, you know,
Mhm.
it makes me want to do it. I get motivated to do it because there's that sense of urgency and like responsibility and pressure, and I work really well, I think, under pressure. Um, so that's interesting. That's definitely something that we don't have in common. Um,
Yeah.
but I also am very, because like I'm a workaholic, so I'm very trying to be like cognizant of overworking and like burnout. So in a sense, I'm also making sure that music is still fun for me and music is still enjoyable. And some people ask me about like writer's block, like, oh, do you ever get writer's block or yada yada yada, or like how do you deal with that?
Mhm.
And I always say, like, dude, if you don't feel like making music, just don't make music. If it
No,
doesn't,
literally.
if it doesn't satisfy you, if you're not enjoying it, just don't do it. Like, I literally apply that to myself. Like, I genuinely, I think like I never get writer's block because it's not that I can't write anything. Like, if I truly wanted to, I will write something. It's just I have periods of time where I just simply don't want to, and I go do something else. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think if music is meant for you, it's always gonna be there. You're always gonna,
Mhm.
it's always gonna come back to you. You're gonna come back to it. So, like, why worry? And also, art is inspired by life. So you have to go live your life. You have to go experience new things and, you know, reflect on yourself, dig deep into yourself, connect with the people in your life. You know what I'm saying? Meet new people, do new things, do things you've never done before. And then you have something really to take back to your art. Um,
I
I don't
agree.
see writer's block as like, oh my God, doom or whatever. Because truthfully, honestly, if I sit myself down and I'm like, I'm doing this, I'm going to write something, like I will write something. It's just a matter
Mhm.
of if I want it. It's just a matter of will I let it happen? You know,
Facts.
that's kind of just like my mindset. I know like maybe a lot of people out there don't think that way. They think that they're not in control of it. But you'd be kind of surprised how much control you actually have over your own life and your own thoughts and feelings and stuff.
Right. That's very true.
You just have
Also,
to
I
be
kind of
in
want to pivot.
tune with it.
Very true. You
Hmm.
do. Yo, to pivot back to when you say you have to like have like experiences, like you can pull experiences from life and whatnot.
Mm.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's like a running gag between me and my homies that I'm lightweight evil because these dudes, they will be telling me the most heartbreaking story ever, and I start hearing melodies in my head and I crack open FL Studio. And they're like, yeah, man, like this girl left me, she broke up with me. And I was like, keep going. And I'm like
Hmm.
making a track around this whole thing that he's telling me. And so like I do stuff like that. And I was also saying for a long time, I was like, dude, I haven't gotten my heart broken in like a hard minute, bro. Like
Yeah.
for the plot, I need to rock with somebody not good for me so I can make like a
You
banger, bro.
really said, I need to hit up a red flag for the plot, dude, for the
I
plot.
need to hit up a red flag for the plot.
No, I feel that because I know like you and me, we're both super chill people and we both try to like stay out of drama, you know what I'm saying? But it
Mhm.
really does just find us sometimes because
Dude,
whatever freaking
honestly,
reason.
it does, dude.
I think we're the least like dramatic people ever.
I agree.
But I don't know what
I
it is. I don't know what it is about our lives or our energy, but it just drama, like dumb stuff, just kind of attracts. And sometimes, but I mean, I think it happens for a reason. I think it gives me. It's a good story to tell. At the end of the day, it's a good story to
True.
tell, good or bad, weird or normal. Um, but I also, yeah, I love taking inspiration from other people's stories too. I think it's fun. You can take inspiration for so many different things, right? Like even just
Fact.
looking outside, like looking at nature, like watching like it rain outside at night or something. You can get inspired and make a song. Like
Not
there's
facts.
so
I don't know
many
about you.
things. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like when it starts raining outside, like that's like my element. That's when I start cooking up bangers. Like that's when I really lock in.
Yeah, I showcased a song on Saturday. I was showcasing some of like the sync licensing songs, right? And I showed this
Mhm.
one song called Tornado Watch, which I literally produced. I self-produced it and I wrote it during a tornado watch. Like literally, I finished making the beat and everything, and I sat there and I was like, I don't know what to write about. And then I heard like the tornado sirens going off and stuff, and I was like, shoot, I'm gonna write about tornadoes and tornado watch, and I'm gonna write about like being afraid that my house is like crashing down and stuff, and like I don't know what to do and yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's kind of in an interesting way, almost a metaphor for life. You know, like when shit is just crazy and coming at you and you don't know what to do, and you're trying to stay calm, but you know you're just feeling anxious. So it could be taken literally, like my house is literally crashing down because of this literal tornado, or it could be, you know, a metaphor for life. Anything can inspire you as long as you kind of like pay attention and tune into it.
I agree. Like, funny enough, like again, one song I made on my second page, I made this track called Chaos Across the Bar. And I think I made this after after me and the homies, we were having like crash out conversations. And he was just like talking about how he was like arguing with his girl or something. And I was just in the background making like smooth jazz, and that gave me the idea to like add a couple arguing in, like the background over this smooth music. And like that was just like a little idea I had because of it.
Sorry about that. Somebody came into my room. But yeah,
Very
no.
good.
I totally feel that. That's kind of, yeah, it is kind of funny that your friends would call you low-key evil.
I mean, they're not wrong, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I be hearing those stories. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be some great content. Like,
You be out there like rubbing your hands together like a freaking fly.
nah, facts. I'm like, dude, your heartbreak will not be in vain. I promise you.
What is like the most diabolical thing that you've written about?
Oh, so peep, right?
Mm.
So the most diabolical thing that I've written about was like, so my homie, right? He was telling me about how his friend was like, this guy he used to be friends with was like a serial cheater, right? And like he was like always cheating on his girlfriend and whatnot. And like he would always be trying to introduce these different girls into the friend group, right? And like essentially it kind of like everything kind of came to a head when when my artist was getting cool with like one of the girls, and then he was just like chatting, like they were just being friendly or whatnot, and he would like project all of his own, the guy in that friend group would project all of his own insecurities onto my artist and being like, oh yeah, he's a bad person, he does this, he does that, essentially accusing him of stuff that he does himself, right?
Oh.
And so I heard that and I immediately started making a beat, right? And so
Oh my gosh.
after I was like halfway done with the beat, I pulled up like the freaking notepad in FL Studio and I just started writing. And I'm not gonna lie, it was supposed to be a sneak diss, but like the warning shots were aimed directly at his chest. There's like no way you wouldn't know who I was talking about in this song. And it was just all bad, bro. Like I was kind of talking crazy in that song. And it wasn't even my situation. But you know,
Hey, when
pretended like it
inspiration
was,
strikes, you know, take advantage.
I have to.
Let's see. I have a very interesting question for y'all both. Lazy, if you could tap in. He's a little locked in right now, though.
He's very lucky.
He's very locked in. All right, well, Chrome, you can answer first, for sure.
What's up?
So, in life and when creating your art, what are you most afraid of? And how do you overcome those fears, if you can? How do you overcome them? Or do you just work in fear?
I just work in fear, dude, honestly. Like, so like when it comes to my art, I'm ironic as it is, right? I'm afraid of my art being perceived in a way that it's not supposed to be perceived, which is kind of ironic because like your art is going to be perceived however the viewer sees it. Like what you envisioned or what you had in mind for like whatever track or whatever piece you're doing literally
Mm-hmm.
does not matter. It is completely up to the audience and how they take it, how they interpret. So I
Right.
would say like that's my biggest fear, and even though that's like my fear, like I kind of just have to work through it. Like it's like an it is what it is thing, and I have to get over it because it's something I have zero control over.
That
You
is
know?
interesting. So you're afraid of people's perception of your art?
Yeah, yeah. And I say that because my art is like me. So essentially, I'm saying like I'm afraid of how people perceive me through my art. Does that make any sense?
Right. Oh, like the type of person you are?
Exactly.
Mm. Bro's afraid of being perceived as a person. I feel that.
Yes, bro.
I
Like
feel that.
literally that.
I feel like a lot of people feel that way, to be honest.
You know what's crazy? A lot of people like who like met me off of SoundCloud and then like migrated to Discord. Like
Mm.
everybody just assumed I was mean, and I was like, bro, why?
What?
I don't even talk. Like I don't even post on my IG stories unless I'm posting a song.
Where did they
Like
get that vibe? I don't know.
I have no clue.
That's wild. You're like completely not like that at all. It's that's crazy. That's a crazy assumption considering, yeah, like you said, you literally don't say anything.
I don't, and it's odd too, cause like if it was one person, I'd be like, okay. If it was three people, I'd be like, okay. But it's like multiple people have said that to me, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, man. Am I like mean online? Do I just give up? That I just hate everybody? I don't know,
It's like RBF, but like internet RBF.
dude. I already suffer from RBF IRL, man.
No,
Like
same.
I got on the
Bro.
internet too. Come on, bro. I
Mm,
can't win.
dude, that's freaking wild though. I would have not expected that.
Yeah, man.
Like, why not the cool and mysterious vibe? Nonchalant vibe?
I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of vibes I
Actually,
get.
okay, actually, you know what assumption I would make?
What?
Oh, ooh, let's play a game. Like, just
All right.
if we didn't know each other and we just saw each other's like internet presence and music, what assumptions would we make about like the other person's identity?
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, Lazy, let's play a
Yo.
little game.
All right.
Man, I just been cooking. What y'all been
Yeah, I
doing?
know
You've
you're
been
locked
going
in.
crazy.
Yeah, this is sounding pretty dope though. I ain't gonna lie.
It is. It really is. Okay, so
All right,
the
what are we
little
doing? Hold on,
game
let me
I
turn this
wanted to
down.
play is if we didn't know each other, right? And we just saw each other's like internet presence and music or whatever, what assumptions or judgments would you make about each other?
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
All right,
Go
who
first.
want? Yeah, Chrome, you go first.
I'll go first. Starters with Kit.
Yeah,
I would like judge like based off of your music and just
like
like what
judge
I
me,
would
bro.
like,
Flat out.
dude. I would think that you're like super out there. Like I would think that you're like a how do I put it? I would respectfully, I would think that you're like super out there and you're like one of those like weird extroverts that get along with legitimately everyone.
No way, dude. What?
I could kind of see that, to be honest. I kind of thought
yeah,
that in the
bro.
beginning. I thought she was like just a very like outgoing,
Wait,
like cool
wait, wait,
person,
wait.
whatever. But I
Wait,
kind of
whoa,
thought I
whoa,
kind
whoa,
of got
whoa,
those
whoa, whoa.
vibes too. Yeah,
Yo, same.
Whoa.
Cause like
the
I
very
met her,
beginning.
I met her
Yeah,
out of a server. I thought the same thing.
yeah.
Wait, we gotta roll this back because what? 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 I just feel like I got whiplash because that is crazy. Wait, what gives off that vibe that I'm a
I
extrovert that gets along with anyone?
I could say well the first time I don't know if you remember the first time we met. Do you remember?
Yeah, we met through that one guy that we don't
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
of.
So on a
Do
lot,
not
yeah,
speak
yeah,
thy name.
yeah. So like on that
Voldemort.
on that on that project,
Mm.
like it's maybe because y'all were just cool and you were very like I won't say you were talkative, but you were like just like talking and like saying this and that and just like really like just chill and just kind of like I don't know, you just gave that vibe that you were very just comfortable in the room. You were very just like, you know what I'm saying? Like Chrome said, you had that kind of gave that kind of aura. So I was like, oh, this person's pretty like cool, like outgoing, kind of just, you know what I'm saying? That's where I got the vibe
Mm.
originally.
Yeah, like life of the party. Because I
Yeah,
remember exactly when and where I met you. Funny enough, I don't know how I remember this,
That was the
but I
Kenny Beat
remember
server,
it was
no?
the Kenny Beat server,
Yeah.
and everybody and their mother was fiending over some vocals from you. That I remember vividly. And then I think like after it kind of died down a little bit, and I was like, "Yo, let me see what's all the ruckus is about. Let me see something." And then you showed me a track. I was like, "Hold on, this is crazy." And I was like, "Let me show you something." You said, "All right, bet." And then I showed you like my track, and you're like, "Hold on, this is fire. We gotta work." Never worked after that,
That's
but kept in
hilarious.
contact for sure.
Yeah, we always chopped it up, but we never worked on anything. I think I did like a couple demos, but it just like never came to fruition for something, for some reason. I mean, and I think it's just like about timing. But
it's always
whoa,
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
y'all just gave me freaking whiplash. Like I feel like I broke my neck or something because I did not expect that at all. Because I've never considered myself an extrovert, and I still don't. For sure, I don't think I'm an extrovert at all. But like,
As I got to know you, I definitely like got that, you know what I'm saying? But like in the
mm,
beginning, like
first
first
impressions, we thought you were
impression.
out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I will definitely say like I
It's
am out there. Like, um, I think what it is just like my level of like confidence and self assurance. Like I'm
probably
very
what yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I'm very very sure of myself. I know myself really well, and I think I'm just not afraid. Like I'm not necessarily afraid to put myself out there and just to make things happen. And like with Chrome and like working with you, Lazy, like you guys know, like I'm always down if I really fuck with something. Like I'm down
Mm.
100%. Like I'm just go go go. But truthfully, like I really am a hermit. I'm an introvert. Like I do not go outside unless my owner takes me outside, which is my partner Noah. Like I do not be out
That's
there
so
like
real.
going stuff. I do not be going to parties. I don't go to the club. Like I don't really be doing all that much. Um I'm really a really big introvert. I get tired really easily when I go out with people, all the other stuff. But the difference is I feel like people get messed up is that, oh, you think of an introvert and you think, oh, they're shy and like they don't really like socialize all that much and yada yada yada. But the thing is like I think what I'm understanding is I think why I give off that vibe is because I'm not afraid, I'm confident, I have good social skills, and I really just put myself out there. Because again, like I said before, as an artist, nobody's looking for you. You got to make yourself known, make your presence heard and unique. And I think I always try to make it a point when I'm in a space to make my presence known in that space.
Mhm.
Because the way I look at it is kind of just I'm here, I'm me. If you fuck with who I am, like, you know, you can hang, come be around me or not, but I'm still gonna be me and I'm still gonna be there, you know. So uh I never really thought of myself as like life of the party just because I'm not that super like outgoing or extroverted type, but I'm definitely like a beacon, I think, for sure.
Yeah, so like that first time it was like this like the situation like I said you were pretty talkative. You were kind of like y'all were talking about the music and then the type of track you were jumping on was like very
It was
energetic.
trap metal.
It was very like yeah, and like I was adding the guitar to it. So like the vibe and the energy of the track. What were you doing for the vocals? Like the just overall that just the whole first impression. Literally like I had just got off of work and then like yo, he hits me up, and then I jump in the session immediately, and then I'm just like playing guitar on this crazy track, and I'm just like, what is, you know what I mean? Just like instantly like that. That's how like we met, and so like just all of that put together kind of just threw out that vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's like no, there was no like real like introduction, like just kind of just
Mm.
like quick talking a little bit, and then like jump right into the track. And yeah, but yeah, obviously as I got to know you, then yeah, I definitely understood more of like the person you are.
Yeah, bruh. I kind of figured out more about Kit from our 8-hour yap sessions, bro.
Nah, bro, we be yapping forever. It's
Bro,
crazy.
a few weeks ago, bro, we were like, yeah, let's work on this track, bro. We called it 1, and we were like, yeah, yap session done at 9 p.m., 10 o'clock. I was saying,
I was really like, all right, I'm gonna have dinner, and we're like, good night. Like, it
That's
was
how it be
crazy.
sometimes, though.
We hardly got any work done. It's so funny, but
That's how
I
it be
always love
sometimes.
talking to you, Chrome, and also you,
nah,
Lazy.
facts.
What was
Yeah.
the initial like? Oh, first reaction. Oh yeah, yeah. So like, so that's yeah. We both had a similar reaction then. Like first impression. I mean, as far as like kid not knowing anything like the first time. So that's pretty
That's
funny.
crazy. Um, yeah. What about Chrome? Your first impressions of Lazy?
I was like, yeah, I can tell this nigga's cracked in music. I know he goes crazy. Like, that was my first reaction. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
He's definitely built different.
Yeah.
What was the first introduction? Because we didn't meet first. I know that.
Mm-hmm. I probably
I think
showed Chrome some music.
I met you when I met Zim, actually.
Yeah, Yim.
Yeah, him.
Oh yeah, yeah. He says Bader Zim. Yeah, yeah. He
Beta, so.
Bader Yim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we were showing each other's music. That's right.
I
I
put
remember
y'all in a
now.
room together, and I was like,
Yeah, that was
"Speak."
fire. That was fire. Yo, that was dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those kind of moments like that is what I love to like. I'm like kid like I love to surround myself that are people who are better than me, and so I'm
Yeah.
always trying to find new producers and new musicians who are better than me, or they have a sound that I like or I'm drawn to, and I don't know how they did it. You know, I'm just like yo, it fascinates me, and so yeah, that day was dope. Like we were all showcasing music, and I was like, yo, this is so inspiring right now. Like I like you know what I mean. I love that stuff.
Kid, what was your first impression of us? That's what I want to know.
Bro, I really gotta think about this.
I'll give you my first impression when I with Chrome. So like immediately like because the first thing like when I started hearing your music, first impression, I could already tell you were gonna be like somebody who's just chill. Like you just can know by somebody's like character, how they talk,
Mm,
how like they joke around, and like kind of like me, like I'm pretty just like myself out the gate. Like I don't if I meet somebody for the first time, I'm not really trying to be somebody I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Out the gate, and I
Exactly.
and I immediately picked that up from you whenever you started talking. I'm like, oh, he's chill. He's not. He don't care who's in the room. Like you just be. It's like I don't. I'll be myself no matter who's in the room. You know what I mean?
Nah, facts.
And so immediately those are the kind of people I vibe with. You know what I'm saying? No one who's afraid to express who they are. You know what I mean? And just you just know when to be chill, know when to joke around, know how to take a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Know how to like encourage, you know, and not just
Mm-hmm.
like be negative and
Know how
discourage
to read a
people.
room.
Know how to read a room. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that immediately, and then when I heard the music, I was like, oh, you like it was very like it took me back because it was like okay, he's doing like some like new stuff, but like it was very like nostalgic to me because like I grew up
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of old music and like you know
That
there
90s
was this
R&B.
the 90s R&B
Mhm.
for me was like so my mom listened to some stuff she was mainly into like Sade, and so that was
Mm-hmm.
some like influence like I love Sade, but I went to when I was growing up, I went to like predominantly like black schools when I grew up in Oak Cliff, and so
Oh, yeah.
that's all they
Yeah.
listened to in the schools I went to was R&B,
Mm-hmm.
just R&B
Yep.
and gospel, R&B and
Yep.
gospel, and it like it was at the time where like they would just play the radio in the classroom like the whole day. In every classroom it was a different, like everybody had the radio on. So I was
Hmm.
listening to all this R&B and not knowing the artist or anything at that time, and just was like super just like man, I'm like what is this music, you know what I mean? I'll ask the teachers and stuff and be just so inspired and like just listen to that stuff, just a little kid. And
Hmm.
so like when I heard your stuff, it kind of took me back into them classrooms, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And for me, I feel like music is like a time capsule, and I feel like it's like to me, like when I hear songs, like that's why like everybody like when they hear something, it resonates with them, especially it's like an older song because it puts them in that memory or in a moment. And I feel like that's what music should do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel the emotion, expression, but also takes you to a place. And so when I heard that, I heard like I think it was like I don't remember what it was, but it was like some keys that you were playing a chord progression,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounded
Mm-hmm.
just like some '90s R&B. I'm like, bro, like I'm sitting in that classroom right now, like listening to these
Yeah.
songs. You know what I mean? So
It's
Yeah.
like
like
so like it was
baked into your
cool.
memory for
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was cool.
Dude, that's so freaking cool. And I mean, yeah, again, I love Chrome's keys and like melodies and stuff like that. It definitely has that nostalgic feeling for me too. Though I'm the youngest, I'm the youngest out of the three of us for sure. But
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, my dad, he used to be a DJ, so he would play all sorts of music, like much older music, and I would go through his like cassette tapes, like
I did the
freaking
same.
huge collection of cassette tapes, and I would just play them and listen to them. You know, I really love like Michael Jackson. I would listen to his albums all the time, the cassettes, and like, you know, Sade and like Brandy, you know, like,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just so cool growing up around so much music. And it's really cool how we can relate to each other in that way. And I have like just a deep respect for all of these genres of music.
Fact.
um
I think it's so dope to see like when I see like my so I got kids. So my oldest kid, she's about to be 15, and this past year she's been like on this music like hunt where
mm,
she's just like diving into so much music. You know, she plays the guitar, and she's like self-taught pretty much now, and she's just in this mode where she's just like absorbing all this music, and she's like makes her money when she does work and stuff, and like you would give her bread and stuff, and she just spends all her stuff towards music. She's buying CDs. She went to buy a CD player. She's like all this stuff, and it's just so dope to see because it's like there's an experience that comes with that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, the only way we get new music is go to these record stores and CD stores, and my mom loved going, and we would go there, and I would spend my hard-earned money buying like for me, I was a big fan of movie soundtracks. So I bought like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of movie soundtracks, a lot of stuff that, like rappers and stuff that I liked. And like I remember just going to the CD stores and they have section rules like $5 CDs, like it was cheap at that time, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
considered. And I was just like I have like 20 bucks, and I was like, man, we would be in there, and I would just like grab a stack, and they had like where you could listen to the CDs. And this was right there on Lower Greenville. It was a CD store, and it was like a whole bunch of just genres, and it was just a dope store, man. And I found a lot of stuff that I never thought I would find, and I would just listen and just be in there. Both me and my mom would be in there for hours, and then I'll buy the stuff, and it's just dope to see that like generations now. I recently went to a record store that I've been going for years now, and it was always so like slow in there, like it never was busy. But like
Mm-hmm.
I've been going this year recently, man, and it's packed, and all of them look like my daughter's age of just like these kids that are buying like these records and these CDs and cassettes. It's like a it's weird because it's like that. It was like that when I was growing up, and it's
Yeah.
just dope to see that because it's an experience, man. When you
Yeah.
go buy it, go home, and that's all you could listen to. You didn't have you couldn't stream a million songs
Yeah.
if you wanted to. You just only had those 10, 15 tracks, and it's like a story was being told, and you open it up, you go through the book, look at the artwork, read the lyrics, look at the producers, the artists. Like you were just like, it was crazy. You know what I'm
You
saying? It
grow
was
an
an experience.
attachment
Mm-hmm.
by creating those
Mm-hmm.
memories. And I think you guys are such good parents, really just like cultivating their passion and their enjoyment for creativity and the arts and self-expression. I think you guys are just doing a great job. I know it's not easy being a parent
Yeah.
and like raising your own kids and stuff like that. So
It's
kudos to
important
y'all.
though. I think it's
Yeah.
important just because it's like it's cool because like I mean I'm doing the same thing like my mom did, and I'm just playing music all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, the different thing is now she's literally seeing me like create music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I feel like the her music taste and her like creativity is gonna be. She's already a better musician than I was at her age. Like I already see it. So like it's crazy to see
So
like how
exciting.
your environment plays such a huge role in your development. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was no musicians in my household. Like I was the first one, but like my daughter has grown up around a musician her entire life, constantly hearing me
Mm.
play, constantly me recording, making songs and like stuff. And now it's like she picked up the guitar and just was like went crazy at it in such a short time. Um, so it's just crazy how the environment really like influences us so much.
I love that, honestly. Like
Yeah.
never let that die for sure. But back to assumptions. Assumptions. If I want to tie back to our little game here. Let me see. So you guys already did your thing. Now it's my turn. Damn. Um for Chrome, it's kind of tough because I think I met you through Full Body through Alex. And at the time I was pretty active in the Kenny Beats server because honestly I was just kind of bored and looking for like new people to cook up with, and just kind of
Mhm.
I wanted to see something interesting. Like I wanted to make something happen.
Was this
So
during the pandemic?
Mhm.
well, yeah, it was like 2021, 2022 type kind
Okay,
of.
towards the ending of it. Okay,
Right.
when the
So
internet was booming.
everybody was back online and all this other stuff. And um but yeah, it's so funny how Grom would talk about like he would come in and I had the whole VC meaning for my vocals and stuff. It was so
He
funny.
would, bro. I remember. Kid,
Funny.
bro, please send me some vocals, bro. Wait, I need to get this one too. I
No
remember.
way.
I
Bro, that's
remember,
why
bro.
I don't hang out in community service, bro, anymore. Cause back then I could do that stuff, just for like shiggles. But now I'm
Jiggles.
like so busy, bro. Like I do not have the time to entertain people who, I don't really know, people who may not be as serious about this music thing, or just like people that I haven't really established a relationship with yet. Like I already have my own
Yeah.
network of people. I met Lazy and we really got this crazy synergy. It's really hard to find something like that. It's not
Nah, facts.
common, for sure. And
I'm noticing that trend within my own friend group too. So yeah, I agree.
yeah, precisely. Like it's really takes a lot of time to find your own community, your own people that you really fuck with. And
Mhm.
like you two, Chrome, like I consider you a close friend, even though we really haven't collaborated much at all. Like
Mhm.
yeah, like I really consider you like one of my people and all that stuff. Which we
I agree.
should
Same.
link up soon. We should.
We
We
need to,
need
bro.
to, bro. But soon.
Soon.
So my first impression of you, Chrome, or like my assumptions about you was I really did think that you're super chill. And obviously I liked your music, otherwise I wouldn't have like, got in connection with you and Full
Right.
Body and like your people and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And um but like if I didn't meet you at all and I just purely listened to your music and looked at your like internet presence, I I would assume actually that you're a lover boy. That's my assumption.
You know what? That's a fair assumption. That's a
Certified.
very fair assumption.
But yeah, I'm pretty good at reading people though. But like, because a lot of your music is, lover boy music. It's about
It
love.
is.
It
It is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you really pay attention to the story that's being told, to the emotions being told, and also diving into the influences of like 90s R&B and soul, like all that music talked about was love and life, but mostly love,
Mm.
and heartbreak, and also triumphs, and being down bad for somebody, or like whatever
Right, right.
whatever. So I was just like, bro's really just a lover boy, and he seems really chill and he makes really good music. And I love that. But definitely as I got to know you more, I really connected and resonated with you because I just felt like we were really, really similar. I mean, we've had various super long conversations together about anything and everything. And, getting to know you, you're just such an intelligent and intuitive person. And you're really empathetic and understanding. And um, I just love your outlook on life and your kind of philosophy behind things. And you're just so real. You're so humble too. And you know how to act right. To be honest with y'all, like
Thank you.
Lazy and Chrome, bro, like I don't have a lot of guy friends for multiple reasons, multiple valid reasons. And you guys are honestly the only like men in my life outside of my family that I'm actually close to.
So that's
That's
awesome.
real.
That's an honor.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? You know what? Don't get too comfortable because I'm never, I'm
Yeah.
never, you know. But
Nah,
yeah,
yeah.
I really do appreciate y'all for real.
She said,
You guys
"Don't get too
are,
comfortable."
don't get too comfortable. But you guys are, I think, good examples for other guys out there, for sure.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking back to something you said earlier. You said your dad was a DJ, and I was like, no way, bro. She wants to be me so bad. Because I kid you not, my dad's DJ name was Special K, bro. Like my dad was a DJ too.
That's
And
wild.
when we first moved to Texas, he left me like a bunch of DJ equipment, and it got like lost when we moved.
Dude, I think my dad still has like a turntable. But yeah.
I was thinking about buying a turntable. I was looking at some this week, actually.
I don't think it works anymore, but I think he still got it somewhere in storage. Anyways, I think for you, Lazy,
Uh-oh.
that was kind of tough because I think the time I met you, I didn't really hear any of your music, or you didn't really have much music out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I just was like a session musician at that time, like
Yeah,
just for you to do something like to add to the track. I had
doing
music. I also wasn't
guitars
sharing it too much. Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's a bit tough. Let me actually peep your Instagram right now and see what I would think now if I didn't know who you were. If I didn't know who you were.
I also like when I conversate, you know what I mean, I'm myself, but I also don't open up like immediately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you know, that's just me. Like, I'll be cool and everything, but I'm not gonna give my life story in the beginning.
Maybe I'm kind of biased because I do know you, so it's kind of hard to like be super like try to be unbiased about this because we do know each other. But I feel like looking at your videos on Instagram and the type of music you make, the impression that I get and the assumption I would make is actually you seem a lot more, like you said, reserved, right? Or like almost in a sense of like, um, maybe you don't really express your emotions like explicitly, like your feelings explicitly, but listening to your music, it's very emotional, it's very expressive, and it has a lot of like depth and nuance to it. So to me, that's kind of the impression I have, or the assumption I would make, is that you are truly honest in your music. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be honest. You know what I mean? For me, I think it's easy to read. I mean, because I had somebody tell me that too. It's just like you don't like posting, right? I'm like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing like videos. I don't like being on camera. That's just me. Just like I'm not a self-centered person anyway. So I'm just like I care about the music. You know, I do some stuff just to kind of showcase that I'm like I am human because I want people to know that there is a person behind the music. And I'm not one
Mm-hmm.
special, except just like I'm just a human, just like anybody else. But I just love making music, and I just want to share it. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like showing who you are as a person, it's not just be like, oh, look at me. This is who It's just more just like, look, man, I'm just a guy. I'm just love making music. This is how I look. This is how my vibe is. This is my studio, and I'm just gonna cook up. Like this is just me creating. This is like me actually like playing the music and stuff. Like this me playing it. This is how like I react to because I love what I do. So
Yeah, Rax, a DJ. That is
Yeah, I
insane.
feel you. Lazy, I feel like we give off similar vibes. It's like we're not trying to do too much. We just present as like just some dude, bro, at the end
yeah.
of the day.
Just some dude.
I'm just some guy who makes music, bro. That's
Which is
literally it.
why I really do appreciate y'all, because you guys are so humble. I mean, definitely in the music industry. I feel like in a lot of spaces, not only music though, there's a lot of egos, and it's crazy. It's out of control.
For
Like
me, for
Yeah.
me,
y'all
for
need to
me,
calm down.
yeah, for me, it's one of those things. Is like I know myself, especially because like
Mm.
I'm a big person in competition. Like I love competition. I love like that's why I was battling and beat battling and stuff. And like I can flip the switch. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I try to be like humble just because like that's just how I was raised and that's just how I I want to stay that way because I've been humbled many times in all
Mm.
aspects of my life. Whether it don't matter what it is, I've been humbled, and so I try to stay that way. But there's a switch that I can flip, you know what I'm saying? And like when it's down, you know what I mean? When it's time to like show up or when it's time to compete or when it's time to be battle or like that ego is through the roof. And
Mm.
I'll flip it on and I'll do my best and like that's how I won battles is like
Yeah.
it's a mind thing. Like literally if I was going to join a battle, like it was a switch and I was like daily, for like a week making beats all day all
Yeah.
night, no sleep. I was like training, you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind I was like I'm going to win this battle. I'm going to
Freaking
destroy
anime
everybody. I'm
training
going to
arc.
I would literally say it out loud like I was like I'm going to murder everybody in this battle. Like I don't give a damn who's pulling up. Like I don't care. Like
Right.
I was getting hype,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like and yeah, that's how it would, it's like literally like a switch. So I can turn it on. But as as I matured more in music and stuff, it's definitely one of those things. It's like you learn its place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Mm.
when I pull up in a studio session, you don't want to be that guy to
No.
show off and everything. But when the time comes when it's needed, it's like, okay, let the music speak for itself. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's like, I'm not
And it
gonna say
does.
yeah,
It
that's
does.
I'm just like I'm not gonna be in the one loud one in the room like oh look I can play I can do this blah blah nah just like
Yeah.
when the time comes it'll come it's like okay here this is what I got something light you know what I mean and
Mm. So I'm like,
Nah, he's spitting though. He really spitting.
so like, Rochel's like the craziest beat you've ever freaking heard. And he's like, so like, yeah,
yeah
let's cook this
I'm
up
not
in
trying
like,
to. I'm not trying to do too much.
let's
And
cook,
yeah
cook this
yeah
up in like 10
I
minutes,
was kind of tired.
whatever.
I was kind of tired when I made
Uh,
this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was after
Yeah.
work. I had to
Honestly,
eat.
like my headphones were off, my monitor was off. I wasn't even looking at anything. Like I don't even know what
Yeah.
this sounds like for real. Like I totally forgot. It's just not that
Yeah.
memorable, but if
you
you
gotta hit
want
him with the. You gotta hit him
it.
with the. I was high key about to delete this for real, but
No,
like
A,
yeah.
I
a
slide it through
throwaway
you.
beat. Yo.
Honestly, this is the throwaway. Like I don't even
This
know
was
what I
a
was doing with
throwaway,
this.
honest.
Like it really wasn't even that good. No, but the funny thing, that was what I was doing in the Kenny Beat server. I was literally like, who wants my throwaway acapellas? Because I
Oh, that's
know
funny.
y'all freaking need some vocals, especially female vocals, bro. Producers, if they don't work with artists, that's the thing I'm always bothered about. There's so many producers out there who don't know how to work with artists. But and also just
True,
because the
very
music
true.
scene is so saturated with like it's such a male saturated industry, I feel
Mm.
like, bro, it's- you know, I don't really care who gets offended by this, but it becomes kind of like a sausage fest, you know what I'm saying? And then they like do not know how to work with women. And
Food,
it's so
I f-
bad. It's so
you're
bad.
cooking. And
what's
that's honestly why like I appreciate the fact that I have so many female friends in the space. Like,
Hmm.
G, Haskell, and Sobi, like
Crazy.
before everybody else, those three, like we were locked in for like 2 years, like every
Yeah.
single day, just chilling. So I know firsthand, bro. Like I had a front row seat to see like just the type of energy people brought.
That's
So you were not
really,
wrong.
yeah, it's people get so out of pocket. It's crazy. It's super bad. I've had a lot of bad experiences to be honest, but it is what it is. I just try to protect my energy, try to protect my community, my space, my safe spaces. But you
Right.
know, I think that's something that you guys both have in common. Like you said, you got a lot of these friends, artists and producers, and you see that firsthand, and you also respect them, and you kind of see eye to eye, but also
Mm,
understand the difference in like what we experience, right?
mm.
And with lazy, like you know, your mom raised you,
I
you
was
grew
just
up
about to
with,
say that. That's just my
yeah,
upbringing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's your upbringing and stuff. So I really think you guys both have a different perspective on how to treat women, how to be around women, and honestly, that I think that's a big reason why I'm close with you guys, because again, I do not be hanging out with fucking trifling men, dude. Do not hit me up.
Yeah.
Do not ask me for nothing. Don't friend me on Discord. Don't friend me on Discord. Don't ask me to play games with you. Don't ask me to make a tag for your beats. Don't ask me for vocals,
Yo, the
bro.
tag.
Like,
Bro, that tag, bro. Make me a tag real quick. That's like the go-to.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like the
funny.
first thing.
I'm gonna hit you with the 10K.
Yeah.
10K.
Facts.
Because I really don't want to do that. Again, I used to do that stuff for like shiggles because like I had nothing better to do and I didn't really care. But I also didn't really, I didn't go through all the things I went through at the time. So kind of it really did change my perspective on how to carry myself in spaces that may not necessarily be safe for me. So yeah, it's really tough out here. But I'm keeping my energy protected, keeping my energy safe, and it's also not always men. It's
Mhm.
a lot of times it is, but they're not the only perpetrators. They are not the only people who can do you dirty.
Yeah, it be
Or
everybody,
or be
Yeah.
acting weird. Everybody has the capability to be bad, to be awful,
Yeah.
and to be disrespectful. So like you really gotta stay safe out there. And I mean, we know a couple stories from some people that they got screwed over by their artists that they were working with, or they got
Mhm.
scammed by some collaborators, or like some
Mhm.
business people trying to take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just mess out there. Oh man.
And I was talking to another artist about this because I wanted the perspective is like, how do you feel about like working with a producer, like one on one, or like literally building from scratch and stuff, or just getting beats online? Because like
Yeah.
she had like tracks that were just like YouTube beats. And she's like,
Mm.
honestly, like I would love to work with a producer, but it's just like finding the right producer. And then I talked to a producer, and they're just like, oh, I can't find artists. You know what I mean? Just like, well,
Mm.
where's the disconnect? Why? Because there's a lot of artists that want to work with producers, and there's a lot of producers that want to work with artists. What's the disconnect? And what I've found is either the artist is like too like better like too good basically, you know what I'm saying? The producer's not at the level yet to like meet the artist requirements, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I
Like
was just about to say that it's a
it's
skill
it's
gap.
it's a skill gap. Yeah, yeah. And then I'm
Skill
noticing
diff.
that it's like if a producer's in the room with an artist and she or he is like, yo, can you lay down a chord progression? Okay, like let me click it in. It's like, all right, that's dope.
Mm.
All right, I hear like a guitar on this. It's like, okay, like are you picking up a guitar? Or are you finding a guitar sample on Splice? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
or what I'm not saying there's the wrong way to do it. Somebody can pull up a guitar one shot and make the idea come true, and it's like, okay, that's dope. But like, are you able to meet the needs of the artist? You know what I'm saying? Or because like if you can't, then that's why there's producers that just sell beats. You know what I mean? That just like upload
Yeah.
beats and like sell them, and like artists can, you know what I mean? They make the bread and it's all good. But
Mhm.
like it's a different story. Like we're doing, building from scratch, like completely like honing in on the sound, trying to find the sound or build the sound, redoing
Mhm.
it. You know what I mean? Pick if I need to pick up instrument, pick it up. If we need to change the key, change. Like everything, like all around, just knowing what to do
It's all on the
in the
table.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like that's the biggest like problem with that because also like I recently was telling Kid I were working with an artist who's like fairly like new to like working with producers,
Mhm.
and even she was a little inexperienced as far as like how does this work, like how do we collaborate and all that. So it's like I feel like there needs to be a way for like producers and artists to kind of like I don't know, man. I know there's like platforms now where they can like link up and stuff, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the only way I feel like, especially as a producer, is like you got to put your music out. You know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself out there
Yeah.
on social. You got to show your stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I did like some stuff because it's like no one's gonna find you or know you can make really dope music unless you put it
Yeah.
out. So it's just like how you gonna reach out to an artist on a random DM with one wave file in your IG and no picture in your story, like no picture of you, just a random wave file, and like you know what I'm saying? Like how is somebody gonna want to
Right.
work with you? And at the end of the day, it's like producers that want to work with artists, y'all just need to like continue to just get the skill level up and like put your music out. focus on your brand, make it look professional, and be professional and be respectful. No weirdo stuff.
Yeah.
And with
Facts.
artists, I think they should just do the same if they're really trying to
Yeah.
like grow with somebody. It's like even if it's an artist, like I respect an artist who just jumps on random beats on YouTube and
Mm.
they just like post it on their IG and like they're doing covers. Like if you find a really good artist doing a bunch of covers, that's showing you that they're willing to work, but they just ain't got the producer to do the songs for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Facts.
they're just doing a bunch of covers and they sound amazing. That's perfect for a producer who's like seasoned or like good enough to like work with them. But like
Exactly.
is your stuff like your music out for them to hear, you know what I'm saying? And is your like presence like good enough for them to be like, "Oh, I would actually like to work with this producer." And are you chill? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a lot
Hmm.
to it. And a lot of times like social skills like Hit said earlier, like
Mm-hmm.
that's another big one. You'd be surprised how many people can't even hold a conversation. You know what I
No,
mean? It's
that's
like I'm
real.
just like
Yeah.
they talk like a bunch of memes and then they just don't even know how to hold a conversation like a real
Yeah.
conversation. Like okay, don't tell me someone else's ideas. What's your thoughts? What's your
Mm-hmm.
philosophy and knowledge? Just like, you know what I mean? It's
Honestly, like you gotta develop yourself like as a human being.
yeah, exactly.
Cause what, bro? Some people are like way too chronically online, and I just cannot say this enough. As a creative, as an artist, nobody, and I'm telling you, no one is looking for you, bro. Nobody. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking for you. So you have to make your presence known and you have to make it unique. Like nobody is gonna dig through all your stuff. Like make your music, make your art accessible to people so you can get, you know, people interested in what you do. Or you don't necessarily have to have everything public out there, you know what I'm saying? Have
Hmm.
something. But like me, I do a lot of things that are exclusive. I have a lot of stuff in my
Hmm.
private SoundCloud and the vault, all this other stuff. But even so, like for example, this is just one example, but like being active on the Kenny Beats server a couple of years ago, like although I didn't have like a bunch of music out, uh like I would be streaming and showing people the music that I have done and this music in my vault and like throwaway acapellas. I was giving that stuff out for free, bro. Like I was like free reign. Anybody can have this. Anybody can flip it. Y'all do whatever
Mm.
with it. I literally would host like beat battles in VC and be
I
like,
remember that.
I'm dropping this throwaway vocal. Y'all producers, you got 30 minutes 30 freaking minutes and we're gonna see who's out on top, who has the most fire beat and who has the most fire flip. And that's just exciting, I'm out there making my presence known, right? I'm giving something that's in demand, right? I'm understanding like what people want, what people need, putting it out there, putting myself out there and stirring some stuff up, right? Because then it makes you wonder, hey, who is this? Who's Kit Presley? Like, this girl's crazy or this girl's fire or she's talented or she's whack or whatever. Doesn't matter. But it definitely made me known. And there's definitely people from that time that I don't talk to at all, but they remember me for sure because they hit me up like years later and they're like, bro, that thing you said to me like 3 years ago, I still remember to this day. Because again, these producers, like, they didn't talk to artists. They didn't work with artists. They didn't network. They haven't developed their like networking skills and their social skills and stuff like that. And especially female
Hmm.
artists too. So sometimes I would give feedback. Like people would ask me feedback on their production and stuff like that. And also my opinions and thoughts on like how to approach an artist, how to work with them. And there's literally people that hit me up years later and they're like, dude, I remember this one feedback that you gave me like 3 years ago and I remembered it every single day, yada yada yada. Like there's literally this one dude who was like, um, you gave me some real like honest feedback back then. It was honestly kind of harsh, but I needed to hear that. And ever since I had that experience with you, like it literally drove him, like motivated him to make better music and come back like 3 years later and show me because of that one
Mm.
conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um, anyways, is me having a big head or not or whatever, gassing myself up. But yeah, I'm low key that girl. Like I really am just that impactful, like burn into your memory because I honestly don't even remember that conversation or that beat that he showed me initially. Like I don't remember. It was irrelevant to my life. But I'm always out here trying to be honest and authentic and
That's,
truthful
I was
and to
just
try
about
to
to say that.
inspire other people wherever
This
I
just goes to show
go.
you
Yeah.
being honest, being real, and for those who get criticized, accept it and like listen to it.
Because I
I think
mean, to
that's
get better, you need to hear that
you
stuff. I
need
mean,
to. Yeah, you
it's
can't
not like
be
I
surrounded
didn't
by
hear
yes
that
men.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for my upbringing on that one. Yeah, always being told like, oh, it could be better, and that's all right. And it's like no good. You know what I'm saying? And that drives me to always push to be better. And I feel
Facts.
like
Yeah.
whenever like he would say something like, "Oh, that's alright," or like, "Nah," like you know what I mean. Like I would not get bothered by it. I'm like, all right, let's move on. Let's do something
Because
else.
honestly, you want to be better as a creative, like, you got to have some tough skin in this industry. Like,
Yep.
you just got to take it. And I'm not even saying this from the type of perspective to be condescending or patronizing. Like, I don't think I'm all that. Like, I can be confident in myself, I can believe in myself and my abilities. I can know what I'm capable of and be assured in that. But I also am not out here like I'm the best. Maybe
Right.
jokingly,
Yeah,
right?
we
But
definitely can all admit we've had our days where we made mid. Like
no,
it
for
just is what it
sure.
is.
Oh, huge facts, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So
Like,
like honestly, nobody can be out here like I am the
Yeah,
greatest because I'm like, nah,
yeah.
you definitely made some hot freaking garbage.
you know what's crazy too? I'll like show people my music, and they'll be like, "Bro, like, how do you make this, bro? Like, everything you show is a banger, bro. Like how did you make this? Like, how long did it take you to get to that point?" I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be so honest with you. I've been producing since 2017. I didn't actually get okay at music or even somewhat decent at music until like 2021. And then here it is, 2024, late 2024, and I am still learning. Like, and like people, like when it comes to other producers, like they kind of hear where you are now, but they don't know like the failures and like all like the like trash it took you to get to this point. Like they don't hear like all the bad tracks, they just hear the good ones and then just assume like, oh, like you just got it like that. And it's like, nah, bro, it took work.
Yep. Can't fake hard work, man.
Like
Yeah. It
in the
took
Kenny Beats server. Oh, go ahead.
years. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
But somebody so Rack said in chat, Kit grilled me non-musically and saved me years. LOL. And you
Facts.
know what? That's just my brand, okay? I'm always gonna keep it real with you. Okay.
I
Because
think
you need to hear it. I'm always gonna say what you need to hear, but not what you want to hear. What you need to hear, right?
not facts. I thank God every day niggas was telling me I was garbage, bro. Cause like, dude, I'll never forget in high school I was showing my y'all gonna get a laugh out of this. I was showing my homies my tracks, right?
Mm,
I remember I was sitting on the floor in English class. Both of my homies was sitting on their desk, right? And I had
mm.
this little speaker from my homie, and it was like this was I think we were getting ready to go on like Christmas break. And I was like, bro, I'm not gonna hold you. I might be him, Metro Boomin who, Sony Digital who. And I showed them the most mid trap beat of my entire life, right?
That is a
And so
crazy
like I'm
sentence.
bro, bro, listen. I was showing them the beat and they kind of exchanged a look towards each other
Oh
and then
no.
looked back at me, and that was all I needed to see for me to cut that song, bro. Like
They
it
really
was
looked at
like
each other and they were like, turn that shit off. Like, no.
nah, literally, bro. That was like, yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's not it. I was like, you hate to see it, bro.
Like, I'm not gonna hold you, but I'm listening to this on mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Funny.
man. Them songs were dog water. I was trash for so long, bro.
I get it, bro.
Bro.
We all start somewhere, man.
We all start somewhere.
I'm so thankful. I'm sorry. I can't get over this.
Bro, I
Yeah.
really am thankful them niggas told me I was garbage, bro. Cause like imagine I was walking around showing more people that garbage can track, bro. Like I'm like, yo, man, like I'm a producer, bro. I'm kind of him. Peep this, and then they listen to it and they're like, yeah, bro, go ahead and turn this off for me.
go, go ahead and
They're
turn
like,
that
kinda
down.
who? Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about you, Lacey? Like, do you have experiences people telling you your stuff was hot garbage?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He
Um,
said, oh yeah.
so this is crazy because I always forget about this part of my life, but like it comes to me when I like start conversating and stuff like that. Around like 20, I want to say 2015, 2016, I downloaded this app because like I always wanted to produce, man. Like for so long, I
Mm,
downloaded this app called Caustic 3, and it's a slept on. It's like FL Studio Mobile, but way
I've
better.
never heard of that.
And no one has it. Is super like slept on, and I don't even think you can install it anymore or find it.
Mm,
But I downloaded it on an old ass tablet, and it was like I was playing with it, and I was making like beats on it, and it was kind of dope. Like I was having a lot of fun with it, but on some like just for fun type stuff. And but
Mhm.
then I started like making a lot of beat. I was taking that stuff like with me to this was back when I was like super broke. So we were like going to the laundromat. I was like sitting in the laundromat with my tablet making like these whack beats, and I really I really thought I was making some heat. And don't get me wrong, like I checked it. This was months ago. I checked in there. There's some good ideas in there. I was like, hold up, like I was cooking like
a diamond in the rough.
musically,
Yeah.
like ideas were there, like just because of musicianship. But my drums,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like the
The
patterns were there, like
execution.
yeah, the execution, the types, the sound selection. Oh my god, bro, the sound selection was trash. I was like, what was I thinking? I was over here
What?
I was using like some modern like trap snare with like a 1980 808 like super weak 808 like sine wave, like it was just trash, man. I was like, but like the ideas were there, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, there's something, but I show like the beat sometimes like to my girl, and
Yeah.
she would be like, oh yeah, that's that's pretty cool. Like I could just see it in her face though, like she was like, that's like when
That's
she was for
something.
real, it was yeah. And like I remember showing like my brother, and like he was just like, yeah, like that's cool. You can make beats on there, but like nah. It's
Mm.
like I'm playing this one time. Like that's what he showed me. Like that's the only time. This is not on
You,
repeat, basically.
bro,
Um,
that's so real though, because it is something else to have a partner that will be like just on, straight up with you, like about the stuff you do, but still supportive, right?
yeah. And it's important because it's like you don't have to be like a douche, but you can just be like it's cool, it's okay, but it's like being respectful about it and like but still being honest.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
biggest one is when I was barely started producing, man. I was like 6 months in maybe, and I
Mm.
and I thought I was like already like yo, I'm it. You know what I'm saying? Like I already got this down. And I submitted to Timbo's lives. He had just started doing lives
Oh
that
snap.
year,
Okay.
and I submitted like 2 3 tracks, and there was potential. He said, I remember him saying like he was one of them. He listened to like a solid 30 seconds to the track, but because I had this crazy guitar like loop that I made, this thing was so catchy. But once them drums hit, he was like, nope. He's like, cut it off. Like, nah. He's just immediately like shut it off. But like the loop, like the music was like it caught his ear. He was listening to it. He was like, the chat was going crazy. Like, oh, this loop is fire, thinking it's a loop, but I was like, I played that guitar like chord like for it was a crazy loop, and the other one like he played for like 5 seconds, cut it off, and like that's just how it was. Like he was just like, nah, that ain't it. And because originally I was going by Lazy Isaac, it was my name,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's what he read it as, and he was laughing. He was like, yo, with these producer names, like what is wrong with y'all? And like I was like that kind of made me think, and I was like, bro, like I don't want to be a joke, you know what I'm saying? Like I came up with that name as a joke, you know what I'm saying? Because it was my name and my lazy eye and everything. But I was like, man, like maybe it was a little bit too much. So that was
Mhm.
one thing. And then when he started bashing like on the music, like I was just like, dang, bro, like I'm trash. but I was like, it did kind of like I was like, dang, that sucks. Like, but like literally a minute later, I was like ready to cook up more, and I was like, you know what, one day I'm gonna be good enough. I was like my mentality, but then I just forgot all that, and I was like, I don't need validation, and I forgot about like all that just went away later on when I
Yeah.
realized I was like, I actually can do like what I want to now. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can make what I want and be happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
It's always a struggle when your skill can't cross the gap between where you're at and your taste. The
Yeah.
gap between your
Mm.
skill and your
That
taste.
that's annoying. It is so
Yeah,
annoying.
it is.
It's
I
like
feel
the
it every
music in the
day.
head that can't come out. Yeah.
I feel it every day, dude. I can't.
Right. It's like being a toddler and then getting upset because you don't understand how your emotions work, bro. It's like that, but
Yeah.
with making beats, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I know what I want to do, but like, and I have the tools to do it. I
Yeah.
just don't know how, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, it's I mean, I think a toddler is a good example in all aspects because even like a toddler that learns how to walk and they want to just run out the gate, but they can't. They're like, why don't these legs work? You know what I'm saying? It's just like it takes
exactly.
time. You got to learn. You got to build.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
definitely facts. Because there's tracks I've gone back to where I'll listen to them and I'm like, dude, if I had the skill set I have now, I could have made this track much better. Am I
No,
gonna
for
work on it
real.
now? Clearly not. But like, if I wanted to, like, I could definitely like do what I tried to execute back then because now I have the skills and know how. So yeah,
That is
100%.
real. That's so real. All right. We've been yapping so much. Let's actually listen to what the heck this beat sounds like.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't even think I've heard a good
Oh,
minute of this beat yet. Let me hear.
yeah. Not just that is also like barely added anything. Like I did add stuff and like, but
I saw you recording those guitars, dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love this intro, by the way.
This intro is very dope. Ooh.
Tell you running hot when you get called a savage. I've had enough of your lies.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's hard. I like
Mm.
that a lot.
I just need the vocals, man, because like I'm like chopping it and moving it just to be on time,
I
and
mean, you
but
want to send it to me right now? I'll just track
yeah,
whatever real
yeah, you know
quick.
what? Yeah, yeah. I'll send this out. I'll send this out. I actually got a dip though, but I'm gonna export this out, send it through, and then maybe next one you can like share, record
For
to it,
sure. I mean,
stream your recording.
yeah, this is like perfect time to end the stream, honestly. We're like a little bit
God
of
tier yap session. I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie, bro.
God tier yap session for sure.
I will say this though, for all those like especially since I mean we're already hopping off, but like it is essential to have these conversations because this is the music. Just so
Hmm.
people
Fact.
don't know, this is what the music is born from, because these conversations, these like open just speaking on life and views and philosophy, next session or the next time you cook up is just a whole nother things, like because now we know how we more about how we think, how we communicate, about each other, and the
Yeah.
music
Hmm.
gets just way better the next time you come around and work on more stuff. Always like that.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, if you guys are down next Monday, I would love to have y'all again and actually get to work.
Yeah.
Actually get to work. I mean, there's things that have been done, but you know,
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have y'all come
We gotta
on.
lock in for real, for real.
We do gotta lock in. Honestly, we be having
We
yap
was
sessions.
running lip for 2 hours and 58 minutes, man. Like,
Hey, I was locked in. Y'all were
he
pulling me
was
out of the
like, yeah,
session.
me and Kip were talking,
I
bro.
was muted. I was cooking
Yo,
up, and I was like getting ready. Hey, yo, you want to play a game? I was some song. I was
yeah.
like, yo, what?
You know, this
Yeah,
this is KP radio. You know what I'm saying? We be yapping and
yeah,
stuff. We gotta keep it real. And I also just want to show people that music, again, like you said, is not just about, you know, laying down patterns or recording or writing or whatever. It's also about building connections and discovering yourself and discovering other people, and about philosophy and about perspective, you know. I mean, because where does that art draw from? And about developing that, developing yourself, developing your relationships, and that really makes, I think it makes making music, making art enjoyable and satisfying, and that's how I keep that fire alive. So before I close out the stream, and you can, like, you know, send me whatever you got right now
but
for next time. um let's see, I have one last question for y'all, just to put a pretty little bow on today's session. So finally, what would you guys like to share with the world the most, specifically through your art or just in general?
me, and it's the root of why I do what I do is inspire. Like I create to inspire, and that's just all I want to do is inspire other people to feel like when they hear it, it's like put them in a place and and inspire them to either pursue or create that inspires them. You know what I mean? Just bring inspiration, and that's just something that I've always been big on. It's like if I can inspire you, if my music can like touch you and it just inspire you, then I feel like I've done what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you, Chrome?
Honestly, I kind of just want to spread peace and relaxation, you know? Like, I know, like, when I make my music, a lot of the music I make is just solely inspired off of like the tranquil vibes that I experienced, like just going to school. Whenever I was stressed, I pop some headphones on. Whenever like I feel like I'm down, I throw some headphones on. Music has just been like a getaway and escape ever since I could remember. Like I can't remember the last time I've actually gone a day without listening to music. Like that's how like integral music is to my peace. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like because I get that sense of peace from music, I would love to share that with other people.
Cool.
I love that. I love what y'all both stand for, and I completely agree. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
being my first music guest on KP Radio. I had a good time. I mean, I always
Yeah,
This was
enjoy y'all's
fun.
company.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is cool because it's just like a normal session. You know what I'm saying? But then we
exactly.
get to share with others, which I love because there's moments in sessions like this where it's just like the ones working on the music that
Mm,
have these moments that is like lightning in a bottle sometimes that you can't catch unless you were there.
mm,
And I love
Exactly.
the idea of like sharing it, and even if it's convos, because we could have talked about something that inspires somebody. That's another thing, you know what I mean? It could be our
Mm-hmm.
words that inspire versus our music. It could be both, you know. So
If you
appreciate
know,
the
you know.
yeah, appreciate the inviting us.
Of course. Thank you
having us
guys.
on.
Thank you guys. And I hope we get to do it again soon. Maybe next Monday, maybe another Monday. We'll see. We'll figure that out. And I'm gonna just close out the stream real quick. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I had so much fun with my friends today, although we yapped a lot. But we also got some music done. And this is all just part of the process. And kind of the whole point of KP Radio was I want to take you guys along the journey of creatives, all different types of creatives, music, visual arts, storytellers, writers, just in general, and really peel back the curtain. So I hope for those of you watching, if you felt inspired, go make something, anything at all, even if it's hot garbage. I literally don't care. Freaking do it. Release it. Make it. Show it to somebody. Get called hot garbage. We've all been there. Who cares? Just have fun. All right. Have a good night.